Hello and welcome to round 10 of the 2020 Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship. It is the MXSGP of Czechia here at Loket in what was formerly known as the Czech Republic, now known as Czechia. Here's a look at the MX2 standings, which is what will kick us off here tonight in the Czech Republic. Tyler Lang, Braden Carter, Payson Johnson atop the points table there and very close among those three, 28 points separating them. But Alexis Leclerc is your 450 current points leader, and we have some interesting things going on with Leclerc here tonight that we may have to talk about as he is currently 81 points up on Jack Haley. Like I said, some interesting things to talk about there with Leclerc. But here is the circuit here in Loket, 1,620 meters in length, a little over 1 total mile, and it's about 75 miles outside of Prague in Czechia, but it's actually closer to Munich in Germany than it is to Brno on the other side of Czechia. So interestingly enough, it's really far on the western side of Czechia is Loket. But a fabulous race circuit here, long start straight into a tight left-hand uphill first corner that swings you back the other way, and then 5 rollers atop the hill by the clubhouse there as you kind of swing around the very, very top of the circuit here. You kind of have this right, kind of like a 130-degree corner into a plateau, and then you drop down off this hill right into the center of the valley. A lot of grandstands and fans near here as you head up over to the ride365.com finish line jump and land on the backside of that. U-turn and dropping right back down into the center of the circuit again, where the start area is, where that finish line jump is, as mentioned. Get on the brakes hard at the bottom of the hill here and slingshot your way back up, and then get a really strong drive if you can all the way to the top of the hill, land up on this plateau where the mechanics area is, and then you got a kind of sharp right-hand 90-degree corner that drops you down by the old start. They used to have a start to the left side of the track here, but they took that back out and go with the old start again. So have a right sweeper into an uphill step up into a left sweeper. Really tricky to land on the inside and get on the brakes for that one as you come around this one and drop down this small step down. Another right-hand 90-degree corner, and then you continue all the way down to the very bottom, down by where you're closest to the town of Loket in this corner down here. And then you work your way to the right here, and you start going right back up the hill again. A little double into a U-turn, quick drop back down, but then right into this U-turn at the bottom of the hill, and then you got to get a great drive to get powered up all the way up this uphill to the race tech table here in the middle again. Scrub it down as hard as you can and land down the backside of this to carry more speed into this sharp left 180 U-turn again. Just really tight and twisty track in some sections, but fast in others. A terrific circuit as you go right one more time, and then another right 180-ish degree corner drops you back down right next to the start line this time, and then pops you back up onto the start straight and head back up into that first corner. And that's a lap here tonight in Loket. Well, so glad that you guys could join us. Like I said, going to be a great night of racing here. Of course, my name is Kellen Brower here at Start Your Systems, and we're bringing you guys the action in the MX2 division to kick things off. Now, what I said was that Leclerc, who's leading this 450 division, might surprise us a little bit tonight. And what I'm talking about with this is this right here. Our qualifying times have Alexis Leclerc at the top of the 250 qualifying times. Yeah, that's right. We have not seen Leclerc on a 250 in several years, and it looks like, given that he has got a huge championship lead in the MX1 division, he's decided to drop down and race this MX2 class tonight, at least supposedly so. He was going back and forth in the Race Factory Discord earlier today, debating whether or not he would still drop down and race this 250 division, but at least right now, as of a couple minutes ago when I pulled up these times, he had not unsigned up from the 250 class yet and still had the top time in the Open 250 motocross class here tonight. So Leclerc on a 38.5 to Eklund's 39.1, Payson Johnson 39.4, Tyler Lang, your current points leader, a 140.9, and Bryce Whelan on a 140.9 as well. So right mixed in there all the way down. It looks like we have just enough people to maybe have a consolation race tonight. Obviously, everybody, Brian Brinker and P37 on back would be headed to the consolation race if there are more than 40 people here. If there are not 40 people here, well, then there's no consolation race. Pretty simple as that. So let's jump into the server and see what exactly we're going to be dealing with here tonight. Is Leclerc racing this 250 class? Is he not? We really won't know until UIDs are grabbed. But I just have to think Leclerc may be racing this 250 race here tonight, which certainly is going to create kind of some interesting storylines to follow, obviously, with Leclerc electing not to wrap up the championship early. He had a chance to do so if he wanted to here tonight, by competing in the 450 class, the MX1 class. 81-point lead had he left tonight from the Czech Grand Prix with a 100-point lead or higher, he would have clinched the MX1 world title. Still 2 rounds to go after this, so this is the 10th round of 12, meaning that there is, more time for these riders to inch up on Leclerc. But at the very least, Leclerc racing in the 250 class tonight does not mean he loses the championship lead in the 450 class. He's got such a big lead that even if Jack Haley goes 1-1 in that 450 division, he still won't pass Leclerc for the championship lead. So maybe a calculated gamble here by Leclerc, knowing that he's almost got the championship wrapped up at this point, to pick a track that he feels comfortable on a 250 and give it a go. But still interesting to see that that's the choice he's taken instead of trying to wrap it up this week and maybe race the 250 at the final couple rounds. I don't mind it one bit, though, and I'm sure you folks at home won't mind it either, to have a contender like Leclerc end up in this 250 division, which has been great this year, with Tyler Lang, Payson Johnson, Braden Carter mixed up, swapping moto wins, swapping overall victories, and in the end, Tyler Lang still has that points lead currently by 18 points in the championship. Payson Johnson 28 points down, as mentioned, and suddenly they're going to have to deal with one of the best players ever to do it in this game, maybe playing a bit of a spoiler here tonight, which could very well be a storyline that changes the dynamic of this MX2 World Championship. And we're going to find out right about now what is the status quo as we're getting loaded in, and it looks like it is Mx2 Race One lined up here. It looks like we do not have a consolation race tonight, because this is definitely plenty of riders. And here is Alexis Leclerc, who is number 7, but is running a number 1 on his bike. Maybe he just didn't have a 250F ready to go. And yeah, he's definitely racing this 250 class here tonight. So there you go. MX2 Moto 1 on the restart. Alexis Leclerc is in the class here. 40 riders going 30 minutes plus 2 laps, and it's coming to you live here on Start Your Systems. Just got word from Logan Heaton in chat that this is indeed Leclerc's first ever 250 race in Race Factor Gaming competition. I know he has raced a 250 a couple times in EMF before. I remember it way back in the day. But man, this is kind of crazy. Didn't expect to see Leclerc on the top of the 250 sheets at all here for this Grand Prix, and it has flipped the script upside down for this race, and we're going to find out how upside down the script really is as we get loaded in, hopefully in time for the gates. Don't drop yet, gates, come on. Why? I loaded in fine. Why is it taking so long to load the bikes again? Come on, JLV, what's wrong with your game? Oh my goodness, we want to get in and see what's going on here. Mx2 Race 1 hopefully hasn't started yet, as we're waiting for some reason. I have no idea why. I just want to load in. I can't imagine the reason why it's taking so long to load in, because I had all the bikes loaded before, unless somebody changed up their bikes last minute right there. Well, I apologize for this, folks. I have no control of this. This is the unfortunate circumstance you run into when you have everybody's skins, and it looks like it timed me out of the server even because it took so long to load. So that's awesome. We're probably already racing right now, folks. Hopefully we get loaded in quick. Let's go. Come on. Oh my God, what are we taking so long for? Decals and bikes, it's done. There we go. We're off to the races, and they are already about half of the lap in. And out front, surprise, surprise, Alexis Leclerc must have grabbed that Race Tech Hole Shot Award. Leclerc known for his starts on a 450, but seemingly carries it right over here to the 250. He's got Benjamin Saves right behind him. Colby Eklund's out front early on as they are working their way to the second half of the first lap. Saves getting a little sideways. That's going to allow Eklund to cut down the inside and make the pass on the 54 machine as they are trying to keep pace with Leclerc out front. I just saw Tyler Lang on the MV Films number 49, our current points leader, sneak up into the background there. And oh, Benjamin Saves making some contact there with Colby Eklund. Looks like Eklund was able to make the pass. Saves is a rider out of France, so a little bit of contact there goes a long way as Lang also makes the move around Saves and tries to set sail after Eklund, but they're all chasing Alexis Leclerc as they have now completed one full lap, but they're not quite to the finish line jump just yet to get onto the third lap of the race. Lap 2 has already started as they cross the finish line on the first lap, but it's Alexis Leclerc leading here. Mx2 Race One at the RFGP of Czechia. Leclerc, Eklund, Lang, and Saves up front. We got Kyler Hockey. Also in the mix, Cooper Hunt, Nathan Prin. Luke Sullivan's got a good start. Nathan Guy. Isaiah Dickerson back here. Zoe Cross. Jacob Hubbard. Interesting to see the different options these 250 guys are choosing jumping down the hill here as Gunnar Williams goes deep and almost goes down on the 999, but he gets together there with the 29. I think that's Chase Donovan. It is. Oh, and Williams does end up going down with Damian Lawyer. So Lawyer, and here comes everybody else going through as the entire MX2 contingent finds their way by. But it was Donovan that got together there. Ooh, Nygren almost gets together. Is that Alex Kerr? It is on the 352 Takatoji ride. But Nygren scoots through, and then Kerr gets him right back. Payson Johnson. I don't know if I saw him first time through. He's right behind Braden Carter. So Carter and Johnson, who need to gain points on Lang in this World Championship hunt, are locked together here early on while Lang is up ahead of him. They're going to make the pass on Zoe Cross, I think, to go up to 7th and 8th, I believe. No, actually, it is... how far back are these guys? I didn't realize they were this far back. Jacob Hubbard. So they're 12th and 13th, although it just moved to 11th and 13th. Carter moving up to 11th. Johnson now 13th as they split Hubbard. Hubbard swings wide. Johnson tries to pull up alongside and near contact. Now Johnson looks inside in the first turn, but Hubbard swinging around the outside carrying some good momentum. Holds the position for now. And Hubbard actually closed back up on Carter quite a bit there. So Carter, Hubbard. Oh, Carter just went off the side of the track, and he is getting back on alongside Payson Johnson. And this is doing them no favors. They need to start freight training with each other up to the front as Johnson's going to jump on past Carter. Still trying to work on Hubbard ahead of him. Like I said, though, they need to get up to this lead group. In fact, speaking of the lead group, Alexis Leclerc under attack already. Colby Eklund wasted no time. Really curious to see Leclerc's racecraft. Obviously, he's developed an impeccable pace throughout the races in his 450 career. But given that it is his first Race Factor Gaming 250 race, how comfortable is he pushing the envelope on these 250F machines for 30 minutes and 2 laps? Especially as the track starts getting rougher. Definitely has Eklund putting some pressure on him from behind. We are off to the races here in Loket. Eklund trying to close up there on Leclerc. Just maybe pressure him into a mistake. Not too common these days. We see Leclerc have moments while under pressure even. But this is a whole host of riders he's not that familiar with racing against either. These guys are hungry. They're still contending for a world title, even though Leclerc kind of feels like he isn't, I guess. He's already almost got that MX1 world title wrapped up, so just taking a night off from that series to race the 250 boys. Lang got around saves, but has not been able to keep pace with Eklund ahead of him as he's dropped almost 5 whole seconds off of Eklund. Now goes to over 5 seconds between the 57 and the 49. And in fact, Benjamin Saves looks like he's keeping Lang pretty honest for this 3 spot, not letting him go on that elevated motorsports KTM. Little kick there at the bottom of the hill, but salvaged it and continues on. He's going to have to deal with his fellow countryman, Nathan Prin. It is a French soiree here at the front right now. Leclerc, rider out of France, sandwiching with Prin and Saves. Looks like Saves just let Prin go there. A couple of Americans in between them and Lang and Eklund is still just hounding Leclerc for the lead. Not willing to let him go at all. Might have an opportunity to size up an inside. Just backs out of the challenge there. Really got to pick your battles when you're going up against someone of Leclerc's stature, because you could catch him, but just one small mistake and you lose a second or two, and you lose that trail a little bit off his rear tire. Like that right there. Eklund out of the rut early, losing traction. It doesn't seem like a lot, but you can already see that gap has opened up. I mean, he was wheel to wheel with him 5 corners ago, and it's about a second of a gap now already. But on the flip side, Leclerc is not immune. And if you stick with him, chances are you might be able to benefit from a mistake out of the Frenchman as well. That seems like the exact strategy that Eklund is employing here tonight. So 8 minutes have come and gone. Looks like they're already into some lap traffic there. Getting around one of the Yamaha riders right there. Didn't see which team that was. A lot of these Yamaha teams looking kind of similar these days. Leclerc getting away from Eklund, but Eklund is still close. No doubt about that. Here's Lang. Still in third, and looks like he is not dealing with any pressure from Prin from behind. Isaiah Dickerson's moved up to fifth. He's gotten around Benjamin's save, so something might be going amiss here with the 54. Obviously let Prin go by because maybe he just felt like he wanted to settle into a pace behind him, but Prin just went down. Nathan Prin hits the deck, and he'll drop back from fourth back to sixth now. Gets up just ahead of Luke Sullivan on the QM1 Yamaha there. Oh, Sullivan launches the top of the hill. Sometimes you have one of these guys get up from a crash right in front of you. You just sense the opportunity and perhaps push the envelope a little bit more than you were. And that Prin launching the double down the hill. Does he still get stopped for this rut? Yes, he does. That is hard to do. Hard braking all the way down the hill through braking bumps, trying to corral the bike together and not swap. Prin does a lovely job there, though. Meanwhile, his teammate, Payson Johnson, seems to have disposed of Braden Carter and really put the hammer down to catch this group. He's already on Sullivan now, putting the pressure on the 11, and he's going to go right around the outside of him. Man on the move, Payson Johnson, 351 Panini ride. Next up, going to get to his teammate, who still runs sixth. Gap has kind of stabilized out front. Sullivan trying not to let Johnson go just yet as they head up to the race tech table in the center of the circuit. Oh, Sullivan almost through the front door. Got a kick at the top there. Sometimes you get those scrubs just a little bit wrong, and you have a lot of time to think about how wrong you just got it. That time it just came back around for Sullivan. Johnson already on Prin. Like that line up against the fence line there, avoiding that big bump that's already developing on landing from that fourth roller. Doesn't seem like team tactics are in play whatsoever. Johnson, who still has a shot at the world title, compared to his teammate Prin, who does not, having a tough time working around him, but this time finally gets to the inside and makes that pass happen. Scrubs at the top of the hill. Johnson is on the move right now. Lap time check, 42.3. He's done a 40.7 though, and Eklund, his teammate out front, couldn't match him. Leclerc did with a 40.4 and a 42.2 last time by. Eklund's losing touch with Leclerc slowly but surely, and Johnson by far fastest rider on the track right now. Oh, but that's not going to help. Oh, off the bike too. A little long on the table it seemed, and hip-hopped his way through the bumps, sideways in the rut and off the bike. So just as he was gaining time on everybody ahead of him. He goes down and loses a bunch of time. Cooper Hunt gets passed by Benjamin Saves and is now dealing with Jacob Hubbard from behind. Everybody throwing a little sauce on the table there. Hubbard really putting the pressure on the 304 here. See if he doesn't have an option lined up here at the top of the hill. Look, he's going to cut far inside. Seen that line work a couple times so far, but Hubbard just does not quite get the power down just yet to complete that pass. He's going to try inside here as they split Saves. Benjamin Saves hitting the deck. So Hubbard and Hunt continue their battle, but they have now dropped Benjamin Saves. And they are free to continue this discussion amongst each other. Hubbard outside of the rut there. Oh, getting sideways again. Losing ground. Zoe Cross would be next to try to catch him. Benjamin Saves got going behind Cross. Alex Kerr back here ahead of Trevor Spencer. Dylan Cavacuti, Bryce Whelan, Ethan Gerst, Chase Donovan, and then Braden Carter's 18th right now, folks. So Carter's second in the championship standings, only 18 points down of Lang, is quite literally watching his championship hopes disappear with this ride right here, because this is going to be a disaster with only 6 motos remaining in this championship to finish this deep into the field. So he's got to get a move on quickly. First up would be passing Chase Donovan on the 29. Oh, and he just boots him out of the way, but he will complete that pass. Oh, but then he slides out and goes down. He takes Donovan with him. Can these guys avoid? Oh, Ryder's going right over top. Blind jump, so you can't tell. Oh, and they're going to hit him again. Carter down. That was Nygren, and the 23 going over top. That can't be Kyle Robb, is it? That, I'm not sure who that is, actually. Carter finally gets going, but he's well outside the points now. Several riders going by. So coming unglued very quickly here for Carter tonight. We got to change for the lead, though. Change for the lead out front. Colby Eklund has taken it over. I'm not exactly sure what happened to Leclerc, but he's now behind Eklund and has to go back to work. He's 3.4 seconds down, did a 52.9 last time by, so that would make perfect sense. Had a crash last time. So let's see what he can do in terms of running down Eklund, as we've just hit the halfway point of the race. In fact, while we are here, just real quickly, I would like to take this halfway point of the race to do a top 20 rundown. And this one's brought to you by Ride365.com. Ride365.com is a great place to shop for all your gear, apparel, hard parts needs. And they're the title sponsor of the Ride365.com Nationals, which kick off again this Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Start Your Systems. Ride365.com. Head over there today. They bring you this top 20 rundown, which is currently led by Colby Eklund on the Panini Motorsports number 57. Eklund has taken over the lead from Leclerc, and he's trying to spoil Leclerc's drop-down party. And speaking of which, Leclerc spoiling himself a little bit as he goes down. The number 7 Rockstar Husky hits the deck. Amazingly gets up still in second, but he has got a host of company suddenly, as he was only a couple seconds down at Eklund. Now he's over 10 seconds behind him, and Leclerc is going to come through in second. Tyler Lang, World Championship leader, sits in third on the MV Films number 49 and suddenly has his eyesights on Alexis Leclerc ahead of him. Fourth right now, Luke Sullivan weaving his way through, trying to avoid the bumps. Top QM1 Yamaha rider in P4. Not ideal for Braden Carter, obviously, but I think Sullivan will happily take it. P5 goes to Payson Johnson right now. Panini Motorsports number 351, closest competitor at this point to Lang when it comes to the world title. But it is looking pretty bleak for these guys at this point. Sixth back here is Dickerson on the MV Films number 26. Did not get a normal start that we see out of Dickerson. He likes pulling hole shots, but he did not get one here in this moto. So having to fight his way forward. Seventh is Nathan Prin, the Frenchman, on the number 130 Panini Motorsports ride. Up and down motos so far, was battling as high as 4th, now finds himself in 7th. Dealing with an attack from Zoa Cross on the MXLocker.com number 56 in P8. Just tailing off of him. Alex Kerr runs 9th, and he might not be for long. He might just hold it. Kerr gonna hold it on the Takatoji 352. Still runs 9th, but he is just ahead of Cooper Hunt on this privateer outfitted 304 Husqvarna. Oh, and down goes Kerr. So Hunt now moves up to 9th. Kerr is going to lose a spot to Hubbard and saves. Benjamin Saves goes to 10th on the Elevated Motorsports number 54 KTM. 11th for Jacob Hubbard on the VlastMX.com number 75, but he goes to 10th. Saves goes off the track, so now going to 11th is Kerr. Saves back to 12th. 13th here is Trevor Spencer on the SwapMotoLive.com number 192. 13th, I'm sorry, this is 14th, I should say, for Bryce Whelan on the Panini Motorsports number 313. 15th behind him, Ethan Gerst on the AEO Power Sports number 160. 17th for Dylan Cavacuti on the 177 Takatoji Yamaha. 18th goes to Kyler Hockey on the number 25 MXS Magazine KTM. It's 19th for Braden Carter on the Rival decal, I believe it was. Man, Alex Stewart messaged me last week and told me what it was, and I completely forgot. I think it's Rival Decal Company and QM1 Yamaha team, but Carter just got passed. He's back to 19th, and now I'm back to 20th, I should say, and moving to 19th is Brandon Nygren, privateer effort on the 510. So Carter, last points paying position. He's right ahead of Chase Donovan on this MXLocker.com number 29. That has been a top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at Ride365.com. So still Eklund out front. Lang is in second, and Leclerc is trying to close that gap back down on Tyler Lang. Coming unglued here a little bit for Leclerc. Pretty much exactly what I had talked about at the beginning of this moto, that it is very different, the feeling that you need to have to push these 250Fs for 30 minutes. Obviously, riding a 450 in this game at speed for 30 minutes is a whole beast in its own right, but these 250Fs demand a lot of kind of throwing more or less caution to the wind to ride them fast. And mentally, that's a different ball game than what you have to do on a 450 in this game. So Leclerc might be a little bit unseated by that. Just not quite used to what it takes to ride a 250F at this pace for this length of time. Still doing a lot better than I would, so I can't blame his P3 performance right now, but he is in a little bit of trouble here at the mid-stage of this race after leading for most of the first half of it. Coughing it up to Eklund. Now he's trying to get back after Lang. Lang right ahead of him as we're on board with Leclerc, taking a look at what this track looks like. I love the elevation changes of this track. Just seems like every straightaway, every corner, you're going up or down a hill. It doesn't matter which direction it is. Oh, Lang lays it over in front of Leclerc. Leclerc doesn't quite get as upside down. He's going to try this inside line, just showing Lang a wheel. He's going to cut back across. Fantastic onboard perspective here of what it's looking like for Leclerc to chase down Tyler Lang ahead of him. Lap traffic coming into play, but moving out of the way there is the 741, I believe that was. A little wayward on rut entry, and Leclerc trying to take advantage of it around the outside. He might have that pass done. He does. Leclerc with an outside move gets around Tyler Lang. So does Lang have a response as they are already coming up to lap that Chase Donovan on the 29 MXLocker.com machine? It is. So Lang has to go back to the drawing board to try to find his way around Leclerc. And these guys have cleared all the lappers that Eklund has already gone through as well, so it's kind of clean sailing ahead of them right now. Look at how deep that inside rut is getting. Some of the ruts on this track seemingly a little bit more one line than others. Lang got that inside clean as Leclerc hopped out of the rut and suddenly battles back on again. 22 minutes down into Mx2 Race One here at the MXS Grand Prix of Czechia at Loket. And this battle for second is as intense as it has been this entire race, with Lang still trying to apply that pressure to Leclerc. Eklund not really in the championship hunt, so Lang, as it sits, is in a very comfortable position championship-wise, gaining points on everybody around him in the championship, although Payson Johnson has clawed his way up to 4th. And with that, we'll only lose 2 points to Lang, but that drops him down to 30 points down in the championship. And with just 5 motos remaining after this one completes, being 30 points down is going to be tough to overcome. Obviously have to outscore your title competitor by 6 or more points per moto on an average basis, which means you got to win and have them finish 4th or worse. Every single moto down the stretch to try to claw the championship back into your favor. Unlikely, impossible, not exactly though. This 250 class still has a lot of talent throughout the field. And it's not as straightforward as Carter, Lang, and Johnson are the only 3 that can podium every week. As you can see right now, Eklund might be on his way to a race victory. Alexis Leclerc getting in there playing spoiler. Payson Johnson's moved up to 4th, but Braden Carter's having a terrible ride right now down the field, losing so many points in the process. And suddenly Lang already back on Leclerc. Oh, Leclerc sideways up the hill, and that is going to be Lang. Wow, lapping Carter as well, moves up to 2nd. That has got to be, talk about a confidence booster right there for Lang. Not only is he getting around Leclerc to move up into 2nd, gain more points, but he's watching his nearest championship competitor, Braden Carter, being put a lap down by him on the racetrack. Carter only 18 points down entering this race, is going to be a lot more points down after this one is over. Come down to the finish line, jumping. We are coming up on 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 2 laps remain here. Mx2 Race One of the Grand Prix of the Czechia. Not the Czechia, it's just Czechia now. As mentioned, used to be the Czech Republic. Actually, it used to be Czechoslovakia, and then they split up those nations essentially, and then it became the Czech Republic. Czech Republic, as it was, or as it is, essentially, as it's also known as Czechia, nestled on the eastern side of Germany, just north of Austria. And for me personally, oh, as Eklund goes down, he swaps into the inside rut and he ends up flipping over. So Lang is going to assume the race lead, and there goes Leclerc by for 2nd. And this race has been flipped upside down. Wow, with only 4 minutes and 2 laps left to go, Colby Eklund literally crashes away the race lead. So this has completely shifted things upside down. Lang might be en route to a victory here. Talk about gaining points on your nearest rivals in the championship. Lang is just gaining points on everybody, as he leads once again in Loket, and Leclerc dealing with that pressure from Eklund, who's trying to make amends for his fall, but maybe pushing the envelope a little bit too hard. Front 3 only separated by 2.4 seconds right now. And this could be anybody's race. Oh, Leclerc, huge whip down the hill. Still able to get it stopped at the bottom there. Uh-oh, small mistake for Lang. That might open the door of opportunity for Leclerc alongside by the mechanics area, and Lang's going to let him have it. So Leclerc takes over the race lead again. 3 minutes and 2 laps left to go. Time continuing to tick away as the battles continue. And Leclerc back out in front again, although making a couple bobbles here and there, and Lang is already closed right back on him. Nicely done by Tyler Moses, getting out of the way on the 707 BlastMX.com Yamaha, and letting our race leaders continue their fight. Lang, I like that line right there. Outside turns into the inside, and he's going to try to use that inside. Oh, he slingshots alongside, almost got to Leclerc's back tire. And in the end, Leclerc holds onto the lead, but Lang giving him everything he can handle. So you thought Lang might be laying up and just trying to take an easy second or third in this one. No can do in this one. You must realize the gap back to fourth is gigantic. And if he has a race win on the table, he may very well try to take it. Trying to run down Leclerc for the race lead. Eklund still lurking back there, and there it is. Lang, right side of the track, is going to go back to the race lead. Leclerc losing traction. And so Lang takes it back over once again. Now Leclerc has to respond. Now, Lang did that last lap. He kind of skirts off the right side of the track and then misses that inside line all the way down the hill. Different lines here. This is where Leclerc was jumping down the hill. Elects not to do it, as to maybe not jump onto Lang's back there. Man, Leclerc, even on a 250F, gets such good traction out of corners. You cannot forget about Eklund back there in the green and red Panini Motorsports Kawasaki. Lang, little hiccup, stands it up in the corner, and Leclerc has to slow his pace down a little bit to not run into the back of him. Oh, Lang, a little bit of jostling back and forth. Brandon Nygren on the 510, next up and ahead of them, coming down the hill. Oh, Lang's going, I thought he might be going a little deep there. Leclerc actually checked up and really didn't go over at all, and he's actually off the bike. Leclerc's gone down on the backside of the table here. What a weird spot to go down, especially when he elected not to go for the jump. Must have just landed sideways and kicked down the hill. So Eklund moves back up in a second, and Lang is leading. Time will likely expire this time by. Might be looking at 2 laps to go. Yeah, we're definitely looking at 2 laps to go. No way we're getting to the flag stand in the next 15 seconds. So 2-lap board about to come out for Lang next time by. And talk about seizing the opportunity out front. Takes a lead from Leclerc, and then Leclerc, really by his own volition, falls out of second. It promotes Eklund back up to second, but gives that gap to Lang out front to work with. And look at this, Benjamin Saves, who was up front early on, going a lap down as well, just got lapped by Lang and about to be lapped by Eklund around the outside. As there it is, 2-lap board out. Lang up and over the top. Dealing with getting around Jacob Hubbard there. And another Panini rider up ahead of him. That would be, Bryce Whelan on the 313 machine. Letting him go. So these guys are lapping up pretty high. Leclerc down again. Uh-oh, Prin got back around Johnson. Nathan Prin has repassed Payson Johnson for 4th. And as mentioned, I do not think there is a single ounce of team tactics involved in this team right now. Whereas Johnson is the only rider on that team that can still win the title. The rest of them don't seem to care. They are fighting for their own positions. Oh, and Johnson now goes down off the bike. Gonna get up still plenty in time ahead of Luke Sullivan. So let's see, where have they lapped up to? They just lapped Hubbard. And they have not lapped Ethan Gerst. Ethan Gerst is running 12th. So that's kind of impressive how far they've lapped up to. As here comes Lang down through the first corner complex. Things are just falling the way of Tyler Lang right now. Whether it's the national championship or this Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship. Tyler Lang really finding his stride. So white flag waving. One more lap to go here. Mx2 Race One. 2.6 seconds is the gap. Eklund losing time in bits and pieces, and Lang holding on to this lead. Leclerc going to be all alone in third. No pressure from behind with Nathan Prin. Payson Johnson a lonely fifth. Sullivan is sixth. Cross is seventh. Cooper Hunt is eighth. Isaiah Dickerson pretty close behind him in ninth. Might be our closest battle outside of our leaders going on right now. And these guys, as they are still on the lead lap, have one more lap to figure things out amongst each other, which I think Dickerson will be quite happy about. Oh, Dickerson around the outside of Cooper Hunt and gets that pass done. Alex Kerr, has he been put a lap down yet? Not quite. P10, 11th. Cavacuti, and Gerst in 12th is indeed a lap down. He actually just got put a lap down by Lang. So Eklund is trying to keep it as close as possible. I don't know if cuts are going to come into play at all, but just in case Lang has a slip up here in these last few corners, Eklund wants to be as tucked up behind the 49 MV Films rider as he possibly can. But how about this one? Tyler Lang sat in third for most of this race, waited for the mistakes of Eklund and Leclerc out front, pounced on the opportunity, and he's going to pick up the max points here. Mx2 Race One goes to Tyler Lang with the victory. Eklund crosses the line right behind him in second. 3.2 seconds was the gap in the end, and Alexis Leclerc's first ever Race Factor Gaming 250 event ends up P3 in Moto 1, but he did run fastest lap, so there is that consolation, if you will. Nathan Prin looks like he will end up in fourth. And Payson Johnson, as mentioned, rather lonely fifth. Luke Sullivan much rather would have liked closed down onto Payson Johnson, but it did not pan out that way for him. So Johnson will cross the line fifth. Sullivan ends up in sixth. So Cross is seventh, but Cooper Hunt is trying to reel him in. So Dickerson had got around Hunt. Hunt got him back, and the 304 privateer effort is going after Cross ahead of him. Couple corners to go. Oh, Dickerson might get the drive. Look at that drive, actually, that he got up the hill. He's going to try to sling around the outside, stay a little bit lower and get a drive down the hill. He's almost alongside Hunt, and there's contact. Hunt makes it over the line, 8th, behind Cross. Dickerson goes down in 9th, and he will not lose that position. He's going to get up and still finish this race in 9th. No harm, no foul. Alex Kerr going to bring us home in 10th, just edging out teammate Dylan Cavacuti, who ends up 11th in this one. 12th, like I mentioned, was Ethan Gerst. 13th for Jacob Hubbard. 14th, Brandon Nygren. 15th was Bryce Whelan. 16th for Kyler Hockey. 17th for Benjamin Saves. 18th was Trevor Spencer. 19th, Braden Carter. Only 2 points this moto for Carter. And 20th goes to Colton Hans. As we wait for one more rider to cross the finish line, we'll get cuts. Actually, Carter gets 18th on cuts, so a point gained there. Hockey gets 15th on cuts, and Whelan gets 14th on cuts as Nygren drops back to 16th. And the rest of the runners stayed the same there. So Carter picking up 3 points this moto to the 25 that Lang just put down. That's a 22-point swing. That is a 40-point lead in the championship over Carter specifically that Lang has now. And with Payson Johnson coming home P5, that's actually 9 points lost for him. So he's 39 points ahead of Johnson, 40 points ahead of Carter. And suddenly, Tyler Lang has got a huge championship lead going. So that was kind of crazy how that changed up the dynamic late in the race there. But yeah, little break here right now, as we're going to wait for Moto 2 to get started in just a moment. If you guys have a question in chat that you'd like to ask me, now would be a good time to do it. And I'm happy to chat it up with you guys in chat. There we go. There's a good view. Oh, a little 5-minute intermission. Normally they announce it in the chat, but it doesn't look like they did this time. So again, if you guys are here hanging out in the chat, go ahead and shoot me a question or two. I'll be happy to answer them. Yes, Mototoad, this is Loket. P Killer would like to know, how am I doing? I am doing very well. Blev Bull Sith would like to know what is my first person settings. Here it is. My field of view is 110. My height is 1. My angle is 25. And my gimbal is 50. So write that down if you haven't already. Or take a screenshot or come back to this video at another time. And you can use it. MX Addictive, didn't I race professionally in MX Simulator? Yes, I did. I raced pro in MX Sim from 2012, and I made my debut in Southwick on a 450 until my last pro race in this game would have been 2017 Vegas. Is that right? Did I do some outdoors that year? 2017 Vegas, I guess. Cuban Dude wants to know, is this 250 or 450? It is the 250 class. Mx2 Race One just finished. Mx2 Race 2 is coming up in a few moments. MD Music says, did you see that Yamaha is contributing to an electric bike? Yes, I did, and I'm very excited for it. I know people think electric bikes are stupid, and I get it. I don't want to see it, personally speaking, in the professional racing scene. If they want to have their own class, they want to have their own e-supercross or e-motocross series, totally for that. They can do that. But I personally will be buying an electric bike at some point because I like them. They're a lot of fun to ride. They're easy to ride in areas that you're not really able to ride dirt bikes anymore because, you know, people are annoyed by the sound of dirt bikes and the dust that they create or whatever. So I'll be buying an electric dirt bike, but I haven't decided which one yet. But it's cool to see Yamaha's putting their name in the hat for doing some of that stuff. Brandon Hanaway wants to know, how do I like sitting in on post-race interview and asking a question or two? Yeah, I really like it, and so they actually had another press conference today that I didn't get to attend because I was busy setting up this stream. But they had, you know, Muscan and Alex Martin and Mason Gonzalez, Dylan Francis, a couple other people, and I could have sat in on that one as well. It's funny because a lot of people were commenting on that video and saying, like, why am I so quiet? And I did ask a couple questions at the end of them, but my job on Saturday at Racer X is to write a race report. So if the guys are answering generic questions of like, how was your race, I'm sitting there typing and getting quotes from them to put in my race report. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, I need to ask them these 2 or 3 pointed specific questions to add to my race report. They already gave that information. So at the end, I added a couple questions that I felt like were pertinent to what I was writing in my race report. But that's why I didn't immediately jump in and start asking questions. I had a job to do that some of the other media members didn't necessarily have to do at that time. So yeah. Joe Mama, do you race first person? No, I race third person. But a lot of people in this game race in first person. I'm just not one of them. Disproved wants to know, did you see the MotoGP crash in Austria? Damn, that one was scary. Yeah, that was crazy. I think it was Morbidelli and Zarco got together, and Zarco's bike missed Valentino Rossi's head by like centimeters. It was so close coming across the track there. And I think Morbidelli's bike did hit Maverick Vinales Either his bike or something just brushed him as it was going by. Crazy, crazy crash. And I saw a lot of people saying like Austria is really unsafe and stuff like that. The problem is that hairpins in MotoGP are unsafe because you have a crash like that in a braking point into a hairpin, like as you're going for a pass down the inside or something like that, your bike is suddenly sliding directly towards the apex and not losing a lot of speed, which is exactly what happened in that crash. And MotoGP doesn't have a lot of tracks that have those really tight hairpins. MotoGP has a lot more looping circuits. That's why you don't see MotoGP end up racing at a lot of tracks that Formula One does. They go to places like Mugello, although Formula One's doing that this year. They go to Sachsenring. They go to Brno in the Czech Republic. They go to Motegi in Japan. That's not F1 tracks. Those are more looping, flowy corner tracks, and it works better for MotoGP. So Austria as a track I don't think is unsafe for MotoGP. It's just hairpins are unsafe for MotoGP. So unfortunately there is one hairpin at Austria, the same way there's two hairpins at the Circuit of the Americas and they race there. So I mean, you know, there was already crashes that are similar to that at Coda in MotoGP before. That one was a bit more exaggerated because it was huge and it was crazy and there's almost really big implications there, but still I don't think that you can deem that, you know, just that track is the only one that's unsafe. A lot of them are unsafe if you have the hairpins. All right, parade lap for Mx2 Race 2 heading out right now. And while I'm thinking of it, I actually wanted to really quickly mention to you guys, I have no control over this. I don't know when it's going to happen. Our power company doesn't tell us when it's going to happen, but there's been a massive spike, not only in the heat in Southern California. I live in Southern California. There's been a huge heat wave. If you guys saw the news lately, Death Valley recorded 130-degree temperature. Death Valley is like a couple hours from me, but it's still really hot here in SoCal right now. So a lot of the electric companies around here are getting overrun with people running their air conditioning and all this stuff at peak hours of the day. So the power companies have alerted us that they may shut our power off for hour here, hour there to try to conserve energy for the entire grid and not blow fuses and stuff like that. So because of that, we may just lose power during this broadcast and I'll go off the air and there's nothing I can do about that. Like we don't have like a backup generator that I can start broadcasting with or whatever. It's going to be tonight is a possibility. And Wednesday's broadcast is still going to be a possibility, but I just want to get that out there now. So if we do just disappear suddenly, you guys know why. I'll try to jump on my phone and like write a post or something that says, you know, what's going on and why. But I just figured I'd get that out there right now to anybody watching so that if you're in the chat or what have you, you can maybe let people know exactly what it is that's going on. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for the questions. Appreciate entertaining me during this little 5-minute intermission while we wait for the racing to get underway again. But Mx2 Race 2 is set up on the gate. They're getting themselves ready to go. Another 30 minutes plus 2 laps on the docket. Who's going to get that Race Tech Whole Shot Award? A lot of fast guys down the inside. Actually, maybe Bryce Whelan on this far inside might have an opportunity as we are set to go racing here. Mx2 Race 2 at the MXSGP of Czechia is off and running. Looks like Whelan got squeezed and Leclerc on the 7 does get a great start into that first corner down the inside. Alexis Leclerc, Race Tech Whole Shot Award, gets it again. It sounds like Kyler Hockey may have got it in the first moto. Leclerc gets it the second moto, but Hockey's right up front once again as he comes through in second. Nick Tomasunis on the 507's got a good start. He's right there with Jacob Hubbard as they drop down the hill the first time. And we've lost Leclerc off the side of the track. So Leclerc, who had led, goes off the side of the track and gives over the race lead to Kyler Hockey. who goes down the inside, battling with Tomasunis, who's trying to get down the inside of Hockey. And Tomasunis swings to the outside there. Got 4 riders mixed in. Looks like Benjamin Saves is there as well. We see Hubbard on the 75. And this little 4 train has already opened up a bit of a gap as Hockey's trying to hold desperately onto the race lead. Leclerc is in 5th now after that early mistake. So it's Hockey, Hubbard, Tomasunis, Benjamin Saves, and then Leclerc. Although Hubbard is really putting some pressure here on Hockey. He's going to try to shoot down the inside at the bottom of the hill. He scrubs up the inside. Oh, but he's going to slide to the outside of the track. Nice save, but loses several positions in the process. And through goes Saves, Leclerc, Colby Eklund. Somebody's on a 125. Is that Payson Johnson is on a 125. Benjamin Saves just lit up Colby Eklund at the bottom of the hill for some reason. But Payson Johnson got a better start on a 125 than he did on his 250F. That is a big oof for Mr. Payson Johnson. Kyler Hockey making amends for me not seeing his whole shot in Moto 1 by currently leading Moto 2. Still has Tomasunis right behind him. In fact, Tomasunis launching up to the inside, tries to go to the inside of the top of the hill. That might cost him second. It does. Leclerc around the outside goes up into second. Now can Hockey lead another full lap, or does Leclerc have a pass sized up already? Hockey around the outside, Leclerc peeks inside, and a drag race to the finish line to complete lap number 2. Hockey still leads. Leclerc down the inside, makes that pass happen. Hockey just goes wide and lets Leclerc have it. Wanted no business of that one. And Leclerc now out front. Tomasunis back in 3rd. Payson Johnson on a 125 is in 4th. You can listen to it. Just take a listen. That sweet smell of virtual premix. Payson Johnson already closing up on Tomasunis for 3rd. And surprisingly might be having a better moto on his 125 than he did on his 250. I'll let you guys in on a little bit of a secret that I had when I used to race pro in this game. Didn't matter what I was riding, 450 or 250. I competed mostly on a 450 for most of my career. Oh, as Johnson almost gets into the side of Tomasunis. And then Tomasunis swaps out and Johnson goes on by. But continuing on with that, when I rode a 450, during the week between races or whatever, when I'm just messing around with my friends or maybe I'm putting in laps by myself or whatever, I'd often ride a 250F just to get corner speed dialed. Just feel a little bit more comfortable in and out of the corners because of, the power of the 450. You kind of get used to the power, but it's harder to control that in and out of the corners and have, a reputable corner speed. And then you get into a bit of a groove of not feeling comfortable pushing the envelope on a 450 in and out of the corners. So if you ride a 250F, you know what that edge of traction is, that limit. Then you get back on the 450 and your corner speed is much more dialed. It really helps. I'm actually surprised more people don't do it in this game. And really surprised more people don't do it in real life, although, I can't speak to that. I don't have experience as a pro in real life. But I do know that some people ride their 450 during the week if they're in the 250 class and vice versa. Jay Sexton rode a 250, rode a 450 during the week. Dylan Francis in the 250 class rode a 450 during the week. And then vice versa. Some guys ride 250Fs during the week while they're on 450s, and I'm surprised you don't see it more often because it does just give you that little bit of a switch up, make you feel more comfortable in certain situations. And it seems like that's what's working for Payson Johnson, is a long way of telling you guys that sometimes that switch that Johnson's done here to get onto a 125 propels you into a different zone because you know the speed, the limitations of the track, but your corner speed is higher because your entry speed to every corner is lower, so you just really get a chance to focus on your actual corner speed in and out. I think it helps a ton. Looks like it's working pretty well for Payson Johnson, who's running 3rd right now. Bryce Whelan sits in 4th. Remember, he finished up the first moto in second. And even if he finishes second behind Leclerc in this moto, it won't be good enough for the overall. Leclerc's 3-1 is plenty for the overall right now, as we do not see Tyler Lang mixed up in this front group anywhere. Seeing a lot of familiar faces. Well, that is not Colby Eklund. That's Bryce Whelan. I apologize. I got them mixed up. But it's Bryce Whelan who's up here behind Payson Johnson. Then Hubbard, Hunt, Cross, Gerst, then Eklund. Ahead of Alex Kerr, Benjamin Saves, Trevor Spencer, Daniel Irvine, Braden Carter, and then Tyler Lang. So Lang, our first moto winner, having to do a bit of fighting forward early on. And at the moment, he's got a 39-point lead in the championship on Payson Johnson, a 40-point lead on Braden Carter. And both the riders are ahead of him on the racetrack, although he's already putting the pressure here on Carter, trying to go around the number 18. Oh, rider down. That was Irvine. Daniel Irvine on the Takatoji Racing 872 hits the deck. And that will cost him a couple positions. So Lang continues after Carter. Trevor Spencer. Good start here for the 192 SwapMotoLive.com machine. Keeping tabs on the Frenchman ahead of him. Benjamin Saves. He's running 11th on the Elevated Motorsports number 54, I should say. Alex Kerr is wrapping up our top 10 on the 352 Takatoji effort. 10-10 would be his scores on the day, if it were to stay that way. I have to imagine things are going to change from now until the end of the race, though. Colby Eklund, Panini Motorsports number 57, holding on to 9th. 8th is Ethan Gerst ahead of them on the AEO Power Sports number 160. 7th is Cooper Hunt, privateer effort, trying to go top 10 both motos today. Oh, contact goes down. A little bit of bump and run there from Ethan Gerst, although it was incidental contact, no question. Payson Johnson has been caught and passed by a couple people. Bryce Whelan and Zoe Cross appear to be those two. Shout out Eric Thompson in chat. $2 donation, says he's dropping some love. And hey, I love the love that you're dropping. Good sir. Always appreciate the donations. As I've always mentioned before, that is going straight into the Holly Brower Diaper Fund. My daughter needs diapers all the time, every time, because she's a baby and babies use diapers a lot. Whelan putting some pressure on Zoe Cross. Trying to make that number 56 machine ahead of him think about what's going on behind him instead of focus on the race ahead of him, and that might force him into a mistake, or at least that's the hope for Whelan in this situation. They are actually not too far off of Hubbard ahead of them either. Oh, and Hubbard must have had something go wrong, and Bryce Whelan body slams Zoe Cross to the ground. I don't know how Whelan stayed up, but I don't know how Whelan stayed up, but he kind of just went through Cross and then did a little bit of Randy Orton RKO out of nowhere, plowed him to the ground. And Whelan gets right back around Gerst. He did only lose one position to teammate Colby Eklund ahead of him. Oof, Eric Thompson. Hopefully you feel better, buddy. He says he's got a little bit of the summer flu, 101-degree fever. Yike. That does not sound fun at all. My goodness, this race lead for Leclerc is gigantic right now. Holy smokes, this is a big lead right now. 10 minutes in. This is one of the biggest leads of the race, 10 minutes into a moto I've seen in a long time. As comes up the hill here, might do ourselves a little bit of a look back and see where everybody is. So there goes Leclerc. There's a lapped rider. 174 of Dylan Love, I believe that is, going by. top of the screen who it is in a second, I'm sure. Yeah, Dylan Love it was. Look at this gap Leclerc has though already. Are you kidding me? All the way back to Eklund, who's now found his way up in second. So Eklund 26 seconds down on Leclerc. 11 minutes into the moto, 26-second lead. I get that there's been some crashing, but my goodness, that's a lead. And as I mentioned earlier, if it were to stand as it is right now, Leclerc wins the overall with a 3-1 to Eklund's 2-2. Lang has got to get up into this mix to win this overall if Leclerc is going to win this moto. Whelan, Gerst, Hubbard in a bit of a freight train right now. Cross off the back of them. Trevor Spencer also still in a really good position here early on, now ahead of Alex Kerr. Cooper Hunt launching up the hill. He's still with Carter, and it seems like a much better moto going on for Carter right now as he is kind of going with Lang. Lang's up to 11th, Carter's up to 9th. So as Lang continues to try to slice his way through inside, working towards the top 10, I should say, Carter is essentially matching him and just going through the field ahead of him one by one. I guess you could say Lang is matching Carter because Carter's getting to them first, but in this situation, Lang, I thought, would make quick work of Carter and start pulling away given the way things shook out in that first moto for Carter. All over the back of Cooper Hunt right there on the 304 is Tyler Lang, trying to look for an opportunity to find his way through and stick with Carter ahead of him. Just as quickly as he loses time, he gains it back. Inside line, Lang, is this going to work? No, it is not. Surprised that inside line isn't working as much as I thought it might tonight. This one might work though. No, Lang loses traction. Scrubbing down the hill, Lang gets that power down, shuts the door on Hunt, and he's up to 10th now. So Lang, the World Championship leader by 39 points, squeaks his way up inside the top 10. Here, Mx2 Race 2 of the 10th round of 12 of the 2020 Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship. Tyler Lang trying to win the world title. Can't do it tonight, but as it sits right now, he's kind of putting himself in a really good situation to have a shot at clinching the world title next week for round 11 of the championship. Needs to be up by 50 points after next week's racing. Close right up here on Braden Carter. This is a battle for 9th. Carter and Lang. Both of them carrying so much speed in and out of the corners. Seems like, as mentioned, they are really just freight training their way to the front. Carter just moved up to 8th. Lang just moved up to 9th. They're already catching this group of riders ahead of them as Carter gets sideways. Oh, a nice save, but Lang takes full advantage of it to go down the inside. Lang now moves up into 8th. Carter drops back to 9th, but they are catching Alex Kerr on the Takatoji number 352 ahead of them. You can see that kind of teal-ish looking gear on the blue machine just ahead of Lang here. And Carter's got to be careful. He's got Jacob Hubbard right behind him now suddenly. Hubbard was the rider that was down on the race tech table that these guys all just went by. So as these guys continue to try to fight their way forward, now they have swapped positions with each other. That's creating a bit of a rift. Back up to the battle for second, Eklund and teammate Bryce Whelan. I have to imagine this is going to stay pretty status quo. I don't know if Prin really cares about his teammate trying to win a world title or win an overall Grand Prix. But it seems like Whelan might want Eklund to win this race. Not sure. Oh, that's not going to help his case, though. Sideways Has to go in and out of the crowd to get back onto the track. That allows Whelan to close right back up again, but then Whelan shorts the table. Gerst alongside, going by around the outside of Cross. Now Cross is going to have the inside into this corner, controls it, and puts Gerst down. That was a slow race to the corner. I think Cross was letting Gerst have it, but Gerst didn't want to get taken out, so he was slowing down in case Cross shot down the inside, and in the end, Cross just takes the outside line away from Gerst. Gerst actually doesn't fall off the bike there, so fortunate in that regard, but does lose some ground and has to deal with Trevor Spencer right behind him now on this 192 SwapMotoLive.com KTM. Over halfway into this moto, a 30-second lead for Leclerc out front. Just gone. And focusing on some of these other battles, Lang and Carter are coming through the field, though. I'm telling you, these guys are moving and grooving. They've now caught Trevor Spencer. Everything Lang can do, Carter can do as well, it seems. Lang around Spencer. Carter not too far behind. He'll likely try to find a way through it just as quickly as Lang did. This is a bit of a tighter section of the racetrack, though, so unless Spencer has a mistake, Carter is going to need something completely different, a little bit off the wall in terms of lines or something like that to make this pass happen here. Drop it down the hill. That was, I'm sorry, I thought that might have been one of the Takatoji riders out front, although I think the only one was Kerr. I know we saw Irvine go down earlier, but Kerr was up here in the mix. And Carter just starting to get desperate, trying to get around Trevor Spencer. He's losing touch with Lang, who's getting off in the distance ahead of him. Lang up to 6th, only a couple seconds behind Gerst. And Carter just trying every different line he can think of, but kind of turning into a bit of a one-line track throughout. These guys cannot seem to find opportunities. Lang took full advantage of a small mistake that Spencer made and is taken off with it, really. And Carter, who is matching Lang, can't do anything about it right now, it seems. Oh, this might be it, though. Around the outside. Oh, what a move by Braden Carter. Spencer did get that rut on the inside a little bit wrong, but Carter wasted 0 inches of the racetrack. Might have used a little bit more of the racetrack than was necessary. Makes that pass stick on Spencer, and now is once again eyeing up Lang ahead of him to set sail after him, while Lang, in his own right, has got Ethan Gerst in his sight. Gerst is P5, Lang is P6. So Cross up ahead of them in 4th. Oh, riders down. Cross was one of them, and around the outside, Lang is going to go. Eklund is suddenly in this mix as well, so Lang just moved up to 5th, and Eklund drops back to 4th behind Gerst. So Ethan Gerst is up to 3rd, and then he goes down, but he stays on 2 wheels. I don't know how. So Eklund's up to 3rd, Lang now up into 4th, Gerst and Cross battling it out for 5th behind them, and it's going to be Cross holding it, and Cross is going to get a great drive. He's going to be alongside Eklund. Get it, got it, good, as he moves around the 57, and Lang has moved all the way up to 3rd in this one. And remember, if Lang can get 2nd in this moto, despite Leclerc just dominating this one, Lang will win the overall on the day. That's going to be a tall task. Wheeland is pretty far up the road. Coming up on 10 minutes and 2 laps left to go. Lang has got it all to play for, though. And this little 3-rider train continues their fight amongst each other. Cross has Eklund breathing down his neck. Gerst is still right there, and can't forget that Braden Carter is eyeing up these guys as well, trying to keep points as close as possible if Lang is going to beat him in this one. Don't let it get completely out of hand. Eklund inside gets that pass done on Zoa Cross. So the 57 moves up to P4. Cross drops back a spot, but still is receiving some pressure right now from Ethan Gerst. In fact, Gerst has an inside line. Contact! Gerst down. Oh, a little bit overzealous move there for Gerst. Perhaps after the contact that he and Cross had earlier, remember, after the race tech table, might he had remembered what happened and just did not want to let Zoe Cross get away from him once more. But could have at least chose a different line, went in right behind him, hit his rear tire, and down he went. So that was an off-the-bike crash, and Carter picks up a position for free there. Cross making a couple of mistakes, and Carter, again, reeling this gap back down a little bit. Oh, contact with lapped rider. I think that's Tyler Moses on the 707, and Carter gets going. Oh, just as Gerst gets there, that was dangerous. And contact. Carter off the bike again. Gerst squared up underneath of him, and Carter, I think, wasn't expecting him to be there, and the contact puts him down to the ground. Looks like Carter is still going to get up going. In the next spot behind him is Cooper Hunt comes over the hill now, and Trevor Spencer dropping down mixed in with these guys. So the positions continue to swap around as Carter has to go back to the drawing board a little bit here and not let things get completely carried away. Where did Payson Johnson go? Johnson way back here now in 12th. And remember, he had moved up to second in the championship standings after that first moto. He was 39 back of Lang. But as it runs right now with Lang moving up to third and scoring 20 points to the 9 points that Johnson will get here for finishing in 12th. That's going to be that exact 50-point gap that Lang is going to need after the next Grand Prix to wrap up the world title early. Difference is that Carter is going to gain second back in the championship hunt as it stands right now with this 7th place ride. Whoa. P7 garners 14 points, so that's going to be 6 points lost to Lang at the moment for Carter. Means he'll be 46 points down, while 50 points down is Johnson, at least as it runs. Well, Zoe Cross actually just got back around Lang, so things have switched again. Eklund got around him as well. So that has actually completely changed every single thing I just said about those points. And with 23 minutes about to hit on the clock, Leclerc checks in as race leader once again. We have seen almost none of the Frenchman here, but he is about to try to win his first ever Race Factor Gaming 250 class race, and with it the overall as well in what is his first ever Race Factor Gaming 250 race. How about this battle though? Eklund, Cross, and Lang. Eklund on that 57 Kawasaki. Lang tries to go to the outside on the MV Films Honda. Does he get that power up the hill? Cross is trying to shut the door. Lang launching at the top of the hill. Lands deep in the braking bumps, but holds it on. And the 49 machine moves back around Zoe Cross and now sets his sight ahead of him on Eklund, who is still in third at the moment. To the top of the hill, and through the mechanics area they go. 6 minutes, 2 laps left to go. And Lang starting to run out of time at this point to close this thing down and maybe get up into second before this is over to win this Grand Prix. The fortunate thing that he has going for him is that it seems as though Whelan, who is in second, may have crashed recently, because that gap from Leclerc to Whelan has extended out to 33 seconds when it was as low as 25 seconds at one point. So Lang only 8 seconds off of the position he needs to win this Grand Prix. I have to think that's the spot he's eyeing up. Eklund is going to be the first one in his way. Let's see where the lap times are going to be this time by. And let's just sit on board with Lang here for a minute and see what it looks like. So 44 dead Lang to a 43.5 out of Eklund and a 43.2 out of Whelan. So actually they all extended the gaps from each other that last lap. They ran pretty similar lap times, but the tenths of difference went to extending the gaps, with Whelan pulling away from both of them and Eklund pulling away from Lang. Lang was the slowest of the three last time by. Look at how rough this track is getting too, because so many of these guys taking the exact same lines, these same insides in every corner, and it's just getting beat down. Little mistake there for Eklund at the bottom of the hill. Seems like that gap is kind of steadied out a little bit. Whelan done himself a favor here. Has put a few lappers between himself and teammate Colby Eklund, as well as Tyler Lang. Looks like there's a group of about 3 lappers actually between them. Oh, Lang down. Tucks the front wheel and off the bike. Tough spot as well. He's got to try to get it righted and not get high centered on that rut. There it is. Gets it going before Gerst can get there. But that may have just cost him a chance at the overall win, as Whelan still sits in second. Look at Leclerc, though, just swarmed by lap traffic, 34-second lead. And who is he just lapped there? That is... Jacob Hubbard is one of the riders he just lapped. In fact, the most recent rider he just lapped. And Hubbard currently is in 12th, I believe. No, I'm sorry. Daniel Irvine is in 12th. But P13 already a lap down. There's Irvine up the road a little ways. Cooper Hunt all alone. Well, actually not quite all alone. He's trying to run down Alex Kerr, but at least doesn't have any pressure immediately from behind. Payson Johnson a little further up the road, trying to give chase to Trevor Spencer. Braden Carter, his march to the front has stalled out a bit, but he just got a freebie there as Zoe crosses down at the bottom of the hill. So all these late race changes for positions are starting to come up and bite these guys a little bit. Ethan Gerst, Tyler Lang, Colby Eklund, Bryce Whelan, and Leclerc coming down and hitting the clock at 28:10. So, unless Leclerc crashes next time by, we're going to have 4 laps to go right now. Wow, Leclerc 39.6. That's pretty incredible. See what it looks like to be on board with the crafty Frenchman, who at this point has been losing time fairly consistently. 27-second lead now. It was out to a 33-second lead not too long ago, but I don't think he's even kind of slightly worried about that. Dropping down the hill and up over the tabletop. Just riding smooth. Seems like that's all it's going to take for him. Doesn't need to push the envelope this late into the race. In fact, I'd be curious to see whether or not he would be interested in slowing down to hit the 2-lap board this time by instead of having to do a 3rd lap. When you have this big of a lead, you have time to think about stuff like that. And it doesn't seem like Leclerc is quite pushing the same level as he was. I'm not going to swear to it being the case exactly just yet. It's 30 seconds to the dot till we hit that marker. I think he's going to beat the clock, unless he looks up and sees it at this point. Down to 15 seconds to go. Coming to the flag over the Tiger Designs table, and it's 10 seconds now. And nope, he is not going to look up and see it. So he does a 1:44.2, which is actually one of his slower laps, but now time has expired, which means 3 laps to go for Leclerc out front. Oh, Whelan. Oh, my goodness, lap traffic everywhere. Nygren, Moses on the 707. I didn't see who was down right there. But Whelan having to weave his way through. Is that Gerst? No, it's... I can't see the number. 89. Putting 89 a lap down. Who's 89. Nathan Prin having a dreadful second moto down in 27th. Oof. Well, whoever 89 is just had a big one at the bottom of the hill. We got a lot of people out of this race, people. In fact, let's go back and see how many people are out of this race. First person out of the race is Hubbard, 23rd. Although, actually he's 24th, 25th. His lawyer's going to go by. Swanson's still out there. Prin's out of the race. Hans, Siebold, Post, Plessinger, Williams, Donovan, Saves, Brinker, Tomasunas, Giffen, Holland, and Wagner are all out of this moto. We have over 25% of the field that started this race having already called it quits in this one, which is a bit of a bummer to see. Here's the 89. Jonathan Alexander was the 89. I apologize for not knowing that. But now Leclerc will get the 2-lap board this time by. Whelan still in second, Eklund third, Lang fourth. Gerst is still right on him in fifth. Johnson is sixth, Cross seventh, eighth Ricardo, ninth Spencer, 10th for Cooper Hunt, 11th is Alex Kerr right now, 12th for Daniel Irvine, 13th for Isaiah Dickerson, 14th Kyler Hockey, 15th is Jonathan Alexander, right ahead of Luke Sullivan, who is 16th, 17th for Brandon Nygren, 18th for Dylan Cavacuti, 19th Riley Hewen, and 20th for Nathan Guy, although he just went down. He's way off the side of the track there, but he is not going to lose the final points paying position. J.R. Reyes is trying to get to him. Dylan Love pretty far back here outside of the points. Tyler Moses, Damian Lawyer, Ryan Swanson, and that is the last rider still circulating. Swanson in P25 on lap 17 is almost 3 laps down, looks like. Leclerc just giving her out here today. Putting a dagger through the hearts of everybody on the racetrack. And clearly doesn't care in the slightest who he's racing, whether they're in the 450 class or the 250 class. He is here to win. And he's going to pick up no points towards his world title quest today, as he has elected not to race the 450 class in this one, which opens us up to a surprise winner, I would assume, tonight. It's going to be interesting to see a couple guys that haven't won overalls this year, like Adam Holm, Chase Blakely, just to name a few. And Leclerc is giving the opportunity to those guys, essentially, to go out and win a Grand Prix. And Leclerc, I would have to imagine, will be back next week to try to clinch his championship. Could have done it tonight, though. Interesting that he didn't. Things have kind of settled down inside of the top 10. Carter's lost some pace. Cooper Hunt now catching him. Hunt looking for, dare I say, he's hunting for some more points in this one. Yeah. This guy's all going to the outside there. It's getting tough to land on that inside. Still gets stopped at the corner. Still going inside there, though. Oh, Hunt into the tough blocks, and down he goes. He is going to get going before Kerr gets there, but he's going to have no drive up the hill whatsoever. So Kerr going to shoot right alongside him. Uh-oh, cross jumping, and then they get together, and Kerr goes down. Hunt somehow stays on 2 wheels. Daniel Irvine, he's upside down, scrubbing the ruts at the bottom of the hill. It's chaos everywhere in this last lap of the race. As back to our leader, Leclerc, Bryce Whelan's just gone down, is stuck at the bottom of the hill in the ruts with Dickerson. He's just going to get going as Eklund gets there. So we'll have to come back to this battle, but Leclerc out front looks like he is going to win this Grand Prix with 3-1 scores. We'll have to wait to see where Lang gets to. But down to the finish line jump in his first ever Race Factory Gaming race on a 250, Leclerc is a winner in Czechia. Whelan's still second. Eklund is right there in third, but if they get together, might open an opportunity for Lang to steal the show here late. Eklund going to try to throw caution to the wind. He wants to go 2-2 here today. Bryce Whelan trying to play a bit of a spoiler for those hopes and dreams. In the end, coming down. Oh, Whelan. Oh, he was sideways, but he saves it. And he will indeed take second in this one. Eklund follows him home 7/10 down in the end. And Lang will come across this line in fourth. So he won the first moto, finishes fourth in the second moto. But I think big picture, he's going to be happy with this one because he's picking up some really good points on his closest competitors. Payson Johnson going to end up fifth, lose 2 more points. He'll be 41 points down in the championship to Lang. Ethan Gerst looks like he'll end up sixth. Zoe Cross is 7th. Trevor Spencer is in 8th. Braden Carter is disconnected from 9th, but he's guaranteed 9th. So Carter going to finish up P9 in this one. Kerr was 10th. 11th for Hunt. 12th for Daniel Irvine. 13th was Dickerson. 14th for Hockey. 15th for Alexander. 16th for Hewen. 17th for Nygren. 18th for Sullivan. Cavacuti is going to come across here in 19th. And Nathan Guy will pick up the final points bank position because 21st was 2 laps down. So like I said, Carter, who disconnected from this one in P9, will end up 9th because 10th was the first rider a lap down. And with that, Carter is going to lose 6 more points in the championship to Lang and be 46 points down. So Payson Johnson 41 down of Lang, Carter 46 points down of Lang, and they're going to have to go to the drawing board this week and come up with a plan to not let Lang clinch the world title 1 round early next week, as we'll wait for cuts, and they have come in. Anything changing? Oh yeah, Eklund got his teammate for second, so Whelan had quite a few cuts actually. He almost lost third on cuts too. But Leclerc confirmed overall winner here at the RFGP of Czechia. We're going to head to a quick commercial break, but don't touch that URL bar. We'll be right back on the other side of this break with some more Race Factor Gaming competition. welcome back to round 10 of the 2020 Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship. It is the MXS Grand Prix of Czechia here at Loket. And we are excited to bring you guys the action. The 250 class already wrapped up. We saw Tyler Lang extending his points lead in that class, but a surprise in this 250 class that just raced is actually your current points leader in the 450 class. Alexis Leclerc just raced the 250 class, so that he will not be on the line for this 450 race tonight, which means Jack Haley, Adam Holm, Chase Blakely have an opportunity to close down some points, although they will not be able to take over the championship lead from Leclerc in this situation. So it's really just down to how many points they are able to actually gain. But the circuit here in Loket, a pretty hard-packed dirt circuit, a little over a mile in length at 1,620 meters in length, about 75 miles outside of Prague and about 150 miles outside of Munich in Germany. On Loket is on the west side of Czechia and very, very close to the German border. Really fun racetrack here, though. A really long start straight into a tight left-hand first corner that's uphill and blind, and then you have a five little roller section out of the first corner into this tight 180-degree-ish corner up the hill. Launch out to flat here on the plateau and carry some speed into this one as you jump back down the hill through the Tiger Designs drop down and into this swooping left-hand corner up to your Ride365.com finish line jump. And then hard on the brakes to get turned around for this U-turn as you head back down the hill, carrying a lot of speed on this downhill, just getting as much momentum to the bottom of the hill as possible. Hard on the brakes here as well. Turn left and then carry speed over this little single back up the hill, out of the valley one last time, down by the mechanics area now as you're down coming up to the entrance of the circuit up here as well, right by where the old starting gate used to be. They actually had a couple starts off to the left side of the track here. Little double single option to get hard to the inside here, carry speed through this one to get up to this step up here, and you want to land and get to this inside on the left there if you can. Otherwise you'll go long and lose a lot of momentum around the outside here. Drop down this small step down, I should say, and then a right 90 dropping down the hill all the way to the very bottom of the hill, very close to the actual town of Loket here at the bottom of the circuit. Swing to the right, carry some speed up this little small double, land from this one, and then a sharp 180 into a sharp 180 right into a sharp 180 left, and then get on the gas hard, carrying speed all the way to the very top of this hill, up the Racetech tabletop jump, back into the center of the circuit once more, down the backside of this table, again hard on the brakes into this left-hand corner, swing out of that one, jump through this little right 90 and down through this gully, and then you're right back up by where the starting gate is for these final couple corners. Right 180, left little sweeper, and then jump out onto the start straight, and that is a lap here tonight at Loket. Well, again, so glad you guys could join us. Hopefully you joined us for the MX2 action a little bit earlier on. That was a lot of fun, what we just saw in the MX2 division. But now it's the 450 class, the big boys, the MXGP class, and some different dynamics now with Alexis Leclerc electing not to race the MXGP class tonight. Sets up a whole new ball game. We might see a first-time winner this season tonight in this class. Either way, let's jump into the qualifying times and see exactly how it turned out in this Class 4 qualifying. It was Adam Holm, the defending world champion, with a 137.9, outdoing Austin Eklund on a 138.7. Luke Magnetti, Dylan Long, and Chase Blakely inside of the top 5. Remember, we saw Blakely finish second last week in Palembang in Indonesia, so he'll be looking for a Grand Prix win. Jack Haley second in the championship, 81 points down of Leclerc, so can't overtake him tonight, but comes to the line 11th fastest. And here's the rest of the runners. Looks like we are not going to have a consolation race tonight, so I'd imagine they're probably already loading into the server right now. So let's jump in and take a look at our runners. Again, so glad that you guys could join us here tonight. Wherever you are and whoever you are, I really appreciate all the support year after year for these broadcasts, getting super late into the season, round 10 of 12 here for the GP Championship, and we're heading into round 9 of 11 of the National Championship this week. I think that's right. So it's just coming in fast and heavy down the stretch. Kyler Hockey checking in says he's proud he led as long as he did. Hey, I'm proud that you led as long as you did. You held on for a whole lap, and you had Alexis Leclerc breathing down your neck. You don't normally have to deal with that. But loading into what would be MXGP race number 1 right now. They're going to go 2 times 30 minutes plus 2 laps to determine a Grand Prix winner here tonight in Loket. All right, we are getting loaded in, and as soon as all my bikes load, we will be getting nice and ready and set to go here for racing in Czechia. So who is going to take it? Will Adam Holm come through and win his first Grand Prix in his title defense? Can Jack Haley win another Grand Prix? How about Chase Blakely? He's looked pretty good these last few rounds. Or will one of the other challengers for these race wins come up and contend? We've seen Austin Eklund be really strong these last few weeks, and obviously he was your second fastest qualifier tonight. A lot of other guys can come in and be players, though, and we're going to see who it all is. I got a limited amount of people here tonight. Looks like only 34 guys officially are going to go off the gate. There is Haley, looking for an opportunity to win. Walter Gebhardt also here, trying to win a Grand Prix. Chase Blakely, second last week in Indonesia, going to try to win. And didn't quite see Adam Holm mixed in there just yet, but I don't doubt that he's here tonight. It's time to get revved up and go racing, folks. 30 minutes and 2 laps. Here at Loket in the Czech Republic, formerly known as the Czech Republic, I should say. Well, I'm going to have a look at Daniel Mills, who normally gets pretty good starts here. See if he can't get another good one, although he's pretty far outside. It's going to be a tough call. Haley even further out. You see Holm on the 1, about 4 from the right side of the screen. You also got Eklund down the inside. A couple others. We're set to go racing here. Mx1 Race One is underway. And it's Haley with a pretty good jump on the 6, but he's going to get just slaughtered into turn number 1. I think Whole Shot went to Brandon Holmes, but Julian Boehmer comes out with the lead. Julian Boehmer on the 299 leads him through. Caleb Hall is in second, and Jeremy Konauer is in third. Austin Bear is in fourth. Ricky Hardman is in fifth. A lot of your top contenders down in turn number 1. That is really shaken up what is the entire front half of the field, essentially, as Boehmer is going to lead us down the hill on lap number 1. Ryder going down in the background. I didn't quite see who that was, but Austin Bear has moved up into second. Konauer now in third. So that must have been, I forget who was in second already, but Bear down out of second as well. Sideways off the edge of the track. There's Adam Holm coming through on the number 1 as everybody funnels around Austin Bear. Tough time to go down early. So Boehmer leading from Konauer, and we've already lost, we lost Bear obviously, but Konauer moves up. Adam Holmes trying to go to third, just gets absolutely tossed in front of Ricky Hardman, throwing a huge whip in front of the defending world champion's face there. And Castellaneta takes advantage on the 221 to shoot down the inside. So Holm has to go back to the drawing board a little bit there. He's trying to get around Castellaneta. He's got his brother Ian. Oh, I'm sorry, that's actually Logan Heagney right there on the 93. I thought it might be Ian Holm on the 93. Might have 2 number 93s on the track. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. So Holm, just as quickly as he was trying to gain a spot into third, lost the spot back to 5th, but now he's back into 4th. He's trying to go after Castellaneta. Oh, Boehmer down with the lead. He did make it one whole lap here before going down, and that looks like Ricky Hardman in the background going down as well. Man, absolute chaos and mayhem here on these first couple laps. And Daniel Mills, who was down halfway down the start straight, is already up inside of the top 10. I think he's in about 6th right now. So crazy, crazy stuff as Konauer leads us through on lap number 2. Konauer from Holm, Castellaneta, Heagney. Then Daniel Mills is 5th. Rockefeller, Boehmer, Parks, McDaniel, Blakely, Magnetti, and then Hardman coming through. Here's Leon Ty coming through the valley. He's got second fastest qualifier. Austin Eklund right behind him. Austin Bear, Walter Gebhardt, Lewis Williams. Cole Roberts, Kevin Gonzalez, Cale Braden, Bobby DeSalle, Ian Holm. There is Holm on the number 93. Tanner Rogers, Caleb Hall. Finally, we found Jack Haley mixed in the battle here with Rogers, Caleb Hall, Neil Wells, Zach Fisher coming down the hill. And Jack Fowler off the back of these guys as well. So not a good start at all for Jack Haley. Back out front, though. Battle for the lead brewing. Adam Holm wants to waste no time going to the front. He's going to try to do everything he can to go after Kohenauer here quickly and make this pass stick. Inside move home in this first corner. It wasn't working too often in the MX2 class, but it might have worked here. No, in the end, Kohenauer holds steady. Down the hill they go, and Kohenauer out the other side with Holm alongside of him. Holm's going to try this inside. He gets it to stick, but around the outside, Kohenauer powers out. And at least for the time being, had held the lead. Holm's going to try to get this outside line to work as they go up the hill. Who's going to jump farther, essentially? Oh, look at that line from Holm. Just able to kind of pre-jump up the hill and just stayed so low. I think he might have even touched his front wheel over the top there. And Holm leads in Czechia. So Holm to the front. Kohenauer settles back in second. Castellaneta is in third, dealing with an attack here from Ethan Parks on the SYS FamMX Racing number 96. Aaron Rockefeller still with a pretty good start there on the 800. Coming behind from fifth, Luke Magnetti. Rockefeller might have a move here actually on the inside of the 96 of Parks. Castellaneta went down, but Rockefeller was going to pass Parks anyway, so Rockefeller goes to third. Parks now back to fourth. Magnetti's trying to jump up here and take advantage to go around for... Well, there goes Parks up to third. Puts the block on Rockefeller. And Rockefeller goes down. I don't know how Magnetti didn't hit him there. So Parks from Magnetti is the third and fourth on your screen. Daniel Mills coming through in fifth now. Eklund has fought his way up to sixth. And Bomer, your early leaders, now drop back to seventh. All kinds of pressure being applied, though, to Parks, and he's going to crack a little bit there as through goes Magnetti. And Mills also went by. Parks must have, yeah, Parks went down off the bike. So several riders going through. Lewis Williams, Austin Eklund, Castellaneta, and Julian Bomer. Just to name a few. Bomer trying to peek up the inside of Castellaneta. Likes to follow him to the outside here. Ooh, that's not good. That is not good. Oh, what a save by Bomer. Completely sideways coming down the first drop. Got even more sideways coming down the second drop and somehow corralled the machine together and kept it on two wheels. So Parks, after falling, now is dealing with pressure from Blakely, Bear, and somebody else mixed in there. Bomer down again, and Bear has DeSalle right behind him. Bear clips the tough block, goes up and over. There's Bobby DeSalle, who was your fastest qualifier last week in Palembang, but then DNF'd both motos, peculiarly DNF'd both motos while in second, just decided to disconnect. I have no idea what was going on there. Blakely could put all kinds of pressure here on Parks again, who's just been a bit of a sitting duck here early on, unfortunately. Oh, Blakely slides out. He's going to lose him some time. DeSalle's going to close up. Gonzalez is also mixed in here. Finally, Haley peeks through up inside of the points as well. So the number 6 machine, second in the championship standings. I mean, if you're Leclerc at this point, you're watching this and kind of almost laughing that you gave some of your competitors a lot of room to try to close down some points, and they're not taking very much advantage of it. I see, obviously, in the case of Adam Holm out front, he's doing his part. Oh, and Gonzalez went down, took Haley with him, and is that Caden Speck as well on the 19 hit the deck. No rhyme intended, and then they get up and they kind of do a bit of a pinball action there and get each other stuck once more. So it's all getting shook around a little bit here, but unbeknownst to him, what's going on behind him, Adam Holm starting to cruise away with the lead out front, making it look rather easy while doing so. He's got a nice lead going. Kohenauer is nowhere in sight anymore, and Holm might be on his way to checking out with the race win. Kohenauer back here in second. Luke Magnetti comes through in third. Daniel Mills is P4. Castaneda fifth. Eklund sixth. Parks is seventh, and more pressure for Parks. Lewis Williams and Bobby DeSalle trying to get around him. Williams riding the wrong numbered bike and saying that he's a privateer when he's on a swapmotolive.com KTM. I don't know if he is actually a privateer and he just doesn't have skins made for him yet, or what the story is, but kind of a funny mix of things going on here for him. And this battle is intense. These guys are going for it. Oh, Williams down. Lost the rear end on the bottom of the hill there. So DeSalle able to go on by. Here comes Blakely through. And Williams gets going just before Heagney gets there. Quentin McDaniel comes on by. Kevin Gonzalez, Austin Bear, Cale Braden, Ian Holm, Speck, and then Haley, who is now 18th. And man, he's already about a half a lap down. We're not even 10 minutes into this yet. So Haley probably not going to be in a position to score many good points in this one unless he really turns on the afterburners. And again, almost went down in the exact same corner he was down a lap ago. So it is just not working out for Jack Haley in this moto. Oh my gosh, I don't know how he saved that one either. Caleb Hall, Brandon Holmes round out our top 20 currently. But the battles remain. Speck down the inside of Holm and Braden. 2 for 1 for Caden Speck. Holm trying to take advantage behind and go through on Caleb Braden. He's going to peek up the inside here and try to use an inside line. Not many guys taking those, and almost contact. Off the track was McDaniel, so he's going to lose some positions. Holm did get the pass done, but Braden's fighting back, trying down the inside. This inside line is OP as can be, and Austin Bear is suddenly in the mix. As down in the background goes McDaniel once again. Braden around the outside, almost contact with Austin Bear coming down the hill. These guys are fighting tooth and nail, and Holm almost got up the inside of Braden again after Bear made the pass. Now Bear swings way wide, opens up the door of opportunity for Braden, who's going to swing around the outside and make the pass. Holm goes by and makes the pass as well. Interesting for Bear to choose two lines that not many people are taking after making a pass, but to each their own. So Holm now ahead of Bear, trying to run with it a little bit. Oh, a little sideways. Bear goes back down the inside. Now these guys are just going after it right now. This is a great battle. Austin Bear now goes inside looking for a pass on Braden. He's going to swing to the outside here, and that might work. Braden a little hung up on the inside. And look at Austin Bear launching out around the outside, makes that pass happen on Cale Braden. And Ian Holm all the while trying to take advantage of it as well. Goes inside, and he gets the pass on Braden as well. Just back and forth we go. These guys are absolutely going for it. Now Holm peeks inside of Bear. Not able to get the pass done just yet. Oh, through the front door. A huge one for Ian Holm. He went for the step down, cased it, and he's rolling all the way to the bottom of the hill. Oh my goodness, what a crash for Ian Holm right there. Yeah, they were sending it, though. Those guys are absolutely going for it in that fight. Terrific action to watch. And Bear just went down in front of Gebhardt and Holmes. So now they are going to try to run up on Cale Braden. kind of reset things because we just watched a crazy battle for, I think it was like 13th that entire time. So it's Holmes still leading as he drops down the hill. Luke Magnetti has moved up into second. Daniel Mills now in third. Konauer is in fourth. Austin Eklund is in fifth. Bobby DeSell is in sixth. They are going through heavy doses of lap traffic. Seventh for Braden Castellaneta. Eighth for Ethan Parks. Ninth is Chase Blakely. And P10 right now is Kevin Gonzalez with Ian Holm breathing down his neck. Oh, a little mistake. Gonzalez still trying to get it righted. And round the outside, Heagney goes. Makes that pass. Gonzalez trying to fight back. Heagney still around the outside. Oh, off the track. And down goes the Kiwi. Caden Speck does the exact same thing. And he's off the track over there with Heagney. Lewis Williams. Whoa, a little sideways off the track there. It's going to be some time lost on cuts. Caleb Braden. We got Caden Speck doing pirouettes in the background. There's a battle for 12th. Braden and Heagney. Kind of stagnating a little bit. Williams, Gonzalez, Blakely all over Ethan Parks. And through he goes. So just like that, as soon as we switch to Blakely, very nicely done, makes the pass. And he's trying to run down Castellaneta at the end of the straightaway as they're working through lap traffic. Jack Haley is well down the order. In fact, he might be out of this moto. Let's see. Yeah, Jack Haley out of this moto. So yeah, Alexis Leclerc at this point has lost no points in the championship for racing the 250 class tonight. Jack Haley gained nothing on him. There's still an 81-point difference. I think Holm entered this one about 40 points behind Haley. So if he goes 1-1 today, he'll pass Haley for second in the championship. But how about that? Where it's looking pretty likely that Leclerc can show up next week and race the 450 class again and still clinch it around early despite dropping down and racing the 250s tonight. I just have to imagine that not only does that frustrate these 450 riders to no end, but it also frustrates the 250 class, who got a bit of a beatdown by Leclerc as well. What are you going to do? One of the best in the game is Leclerc, and it doesn't matter what bike he's on. It seems like he proves it year after year. Holm lapping Gebhardt there. These guys are lapping deep up into the field already, it seems. Who are they lapped up to at this point? Looks like Holm is lapping Austin Bear right now. 16 minutes in, he's lapping 17th. This has the makings to get ugly fast as Bear and Gebhardt come together just as I'm on board with them. I don't know if Gebhardt realized that Austin Bear was going to funnel back into that same rut, and then Bear gets going, hits Speck. Speck gets sideways, almost goes down. So Gebhardt's just trying to avoid some of this chaos as Caleb Hall coming through right behind him. What a mix of chaos this is. Holm now has lapped his brother Ian and lapped his extended brother Brandon Holmes. See if we can't find ourselves a battle somewhere inside of the top 10. Here you go. Castellaneta and Konauer. Konauer led early in this one. He's had a couple of falls that have cost him some time, but still sitting in a fairly good position here in 6th as he is trying to hold off Castellaneta and the charge that he's putting on. It seems like somebody just went down up the road. Yeah, Daniel Mills went down and allowed Austin Eklund through, so Mills now has Bobby DeSell closing up on him. And DeSalle now finds himself right behind Tanner Rogers there. But he is trying to lap Tanner Rogers as opposed to battling Daniel Mills up ahead of him. That Castaneda Konauer battle extended itself out a little bit. Blakely and Parks are pretty separated again. Not a lot of close battles going on right now. McDaniel just went down again, and Gebhardt's going to go by him, but that's going to be the only position that will change. Bear, Caleb Hall, Caden Speck, Aaron Rockefeller, Julian Bomer has gone from hole shot to outside of the points before 20 minutes of this thing is over. And yeah, things are pretty steady at the moment. There we go. DeSalle is caught up to Mills now. So the 341 machine trying to put the moves on the 44. Great line here, outside. Jumps down the hill. Mills is still almost alongside. DeSalle's got to get to the inside and block it off here. Nicely done. Really good pass by DeSalle. Set that up 3 corners in advance by jumping to the inside. Carried that momentum all the way around the inside. Dropped down the step up, then swung to the outside to give Mills the inside line. But in the end, it worked out in his favor because he carried more momentum down the hill and could close the door off on Mills, who was still trying to get to the inside into the next corner. Didn't matter. DeSalle makes that pass stick and has now found himself up into P4. Next up the road of him would be Austin Eklund. Our second fastest qualifier is still trying to do everything he can to run down Luke Magnetti, who has been steadily improving as the year goes on. And just as I start talking about him, come on, Mom Spaghetti, what are we doing? So Eklund will indeed move up into that second position just as Magnetti starts to get going. But that race lead gap is now 36 seconds for Adam Holm, who continues to just slice and dice his way through lap traffic like they're standing still in some sense, although that's not going to help his case. A little bit of a slide out there. Holm at 38.7, his best lap. He did a 41 dead last time by, so he's been pretty consistent most of this moto. Still got 10 minutes and a couple laps left to work with, but as it's been going pretty steady for him, can't imagine it's going to get much worse from this. It seems like that gap actually extended, but it's going to come down as eventually those guys will go through that section over there. And there we go. Now it's starting to come down a little bit. Magnetti coming over the hill, 36 seconds. What is this lap time going to be for Holm despite the mistake? He lays down a 44.4, so that's still pretty good. I was gonna say I don't think Gebhardt is in that position. No, he's in 20th. So wow, P20 is being lapped by like 7th right now or so, and 12th is already a lap down. Although I don't know, Adam Holm. Yeah, I mean he could get up pretty far. Don't know how far he will get though. .41-second lead for Holm. Almost a bit of a bummer at this point that we're not going to be able to see him fight against Leclerc on this track, because it seems like Holm came to play this week. Looks like he's in pretty good mood, feeling the flow on the track, etc. But we're not going to see him squaring off against Leclerc, unfortunately. Konauer dropping down the hill here, trying to give chase to Ethan Parks ahead of him. Gebhardt just down at the bottom of the hill there. He is now dropped out of the points. He is 21st. Bobby DeSalle going around Austin Bear, but Bear is also a lap down. Chase Blakely's moved forward. He's trying to catch Braden Castellaneta. Have to imagine this is a bit of a frustrating moto for Blakely, who last week was pretty clearly the second best guy in Palembang. And really not getting much of a chance to prove that this week with a terrible start in this first moto. Trying to go into the 5th place position here on Castellaneta at some point. But these guys are a minute behind race leader Adam Holm. Rider down up here. That seems to be a lapped rider. Might be Ricky Hardman, actually. Inside move, Blakely. Trying to shut the door on Castellaneta, but just can't quite get it closed. Castellaneta gets that step down. And I'm actually surprised at how much time he just gained by doing that. I didn't expect it to be that much of a time gainer, but it absolutely was like about a second or more. Impressive stuff. Oh, 317 getting out of shape off the track there as this battle's coming through. Oh, Blakely down. Front wheel tuck on corner entry, and off the bike he goes. Bobby DeSell picks up a free spot. Daniel Mills still up here behind Luke Magnetti. Austin Eklund is second, but Adam Holm putting a beat down on the field. It's kind of the weirdest of weird nights that if Holm is able to win this one, it'll be the first time ever that he and Leclerc both won overalls on the same night, which is kind of a weird stat, but it's true. Leclerc having never raced in the 250 class before, and Adam Holm having never won a 250 overall before. Wasn't possible. 45-second lead for Holm, though, and he's pretty much a minute ahead of everybody else besides second place Austin Eklund right now. Crazy, crazy stuff. Oh, and then Eklund, he just slides out. He's kind of high-centered on this rut right now as he tries to get going. So lapped riders will momentarily unlap themselves. And they'll probably let Eklund go back by here. Yep. Very nicely done. Magnetti and Mills going at it. This is for third. Dropping down the hill. Mills has just made that pass happen. And Magnetti's going to have to try to fight back. He's going to go to the inside here, but has to back out of the challenge to not run into the 44 machine. Little scrubbers at the top of the race tech table. Rider down. Both of them avoid him by going to the inside. Good battle here for third. Braden Castellaneta a little further off of them in fifth. Let's peek back and see DeSell with Blakely hot on his heels. Another close battle there. And that's where it pretty much stops. P11 Lewis Williams is already a lap down. Kevin Gonzalez, Adam Holm's teammate, is on the verge of being put a lap down by Mr. Holm. There's Holm right there, actually. Pretty much right behind him. I think Gonzalez has the blue bar. Yeah, look at that. Moves out of the way, and there he goes. On the right side of your screen, race leader going through. So the top 10 now being lapped. Crazy stuff. Really, really weird night of racing. Having no Leclerc out there, but is what it is. Mills has lost a lot of ground, so he must have went down. He's back to 6th. Castaneda's leapfrogged him, as has Bobby DeSalle. And now DeSalle just went down. So DeSalle crashing out of that 5 spot. And he will get going just as Chase Blakely comes down the hill here. So suddenly Blakely has his sights ahead on Bobby DeSalle. Oh, DeSalle just was backwards, and he somehow corralled it back together. Oh, but then he crashed trying to get to the inside, so Bobby DeSalle hits the deck again. Blakely goes by. Ethan Parks will not get there before DeSalle gets going, but losing a lot of ground there is DeSalle. So Holm coming over the race tech table here out to a 51-second lead on the rest of the field. Inside Holm here. He's taking different lines through and throughout. Just so smooth right now up front too, making it look easy. And he is not going to run out of time this time by for the 30-minute clock. 29:22 currently, so he's definitely still going to have 3 laps to go, and he's caught Kohenauer here to try to put him a lap down. 41.6. I mean, he's still running competitive lap times to that of other people who are running as their best times. So Kohenauer has now gone, or about to go a lap down, I should say. He is in 9th, and right ahead of him is Ethan Parks in 8th. And there it is, Kohenauer a lap down. Now Parks is going to get the blue bar. He moves out of the way, lets Holm go by. He's going to try to get going right there as Kohenauer is coming up the hill. And, oh, Kohenauer got ran into the back of, I think that was Caden Speck on the 19. This is a close battle as well between the MV Films Honda of Jeremy Kohenauer and the SYS FMX Racing Honda of Ethan Parks. They're going to go side by side up the hill here. Kohenauer's got the inside advantage. Parks flailing around on the outside a bit there, loses the spot. Kohenauer goes through. And I think Kohenauer at this point is going to try to stick with Adam Holm if he can. Try to maybe catch up to some of these guys ahead of him. Pretty stabilized inside of the top 10 at this point, though. Further back, we see Cale Braden trying to close up on Lewis Williams again. These guys have been fighting a lot of this race. Logan Heagney. Caleb Hall just got lapped by Braden Castaneda. Quentin McDaniel. It's another tough thing for some of these guys as well, is that they're getting they're getting lapped, or in this case they just got unlapped. McDaniel just got unlapped by Walter Gebhardt, who is several laps down. But you look back at someone here like Caden Speck in 17th. He's on lap 17, whereas your race leader is on lap 20. So you're in a situation now where a lot of these guys are going 2 or 3 laps down. They're still battling for points. It's just the way the field kind of depletes down the stretch here, unfortunately. But it makes it an interesting scenario for the leaders when they're coming by, because these guys suddenly are like, well, I'm battling for points. I don't really want to try to let you have 5 seconds that I have to give up and let you go by. Seems like all is well for Holm out front, though. Nothing really for him to worry about. Things are going quite smoothly. Lapping, I think that was Walter Gebhardt. He just went by again. Gebhardt is not having a good moto whatsoever right now. I think he'll be pretty bummed with this one when all is said and done. And I think that is Bobby DeSalle that Adam Holm is catching to lap. It absolutely is. That is quite incredible. White flag is going to go out this time by for Holm, I believe. I think. So he's going to come down behind DeSalle right now. And yep, white flag waving in the background. It is now waving on our screen. Adam Holm has started his final lap of the race. Jeremy Cohenauer, Ethan Parks, Kevin Gonzalez, Brandon Holmes, all these guys are a lap down. Cale Braden, Logan Heagney, Lewis Williams, Caleb Hall, Quinn McDaniel. McDaniel is the last guy on the second to lead lap. Well, not anymore. Well, maybe. He's trying to get going. He's trying to get it righted. He's about to be lapped again. He's in 16th right now. He is going to score 5 championship points. He's about to go 2 laps down. Incredible stuff here. And yeah, there it is. Holm going by. So, top 15. If you're 15 on back, or if you're 16 on back, I should say, you are 2 laps down. In fact, it's about to be if you are 15 on back, you are 2 laps down, because Adam Holm is right behind Caleb Hall now. Beat down by Adam Holm in this moto. Hey, Daniel Mills is closing up on Braden Castellaneta. This could be a good battle late. Trying to make something happen is D Mills. Oh, man. Castellaneta got a little sideways there. And Mills, I thought he was a little short on the step down. Meanwhile, up front, though, Adam Holm dominates this moto, trying to win his first overall of the year. He's going to start it off on the right foot as he comes through and wins moto number 1 here in Loket. The MXSGP of Czechia. Adam Holm dominates that first race. Eklund still trying to hold on for second. Magnetti looks like third is going to be his worst unless he crashes. Daniel Mills is trying as much as he can to get to Castellaneta, though. Kind of hops over the ruts there. That's going to cost him some time. Castellaneta has to know he's here. He's probably been hearing him close up. Oh, Mills down. Is that going to cost him a spot? Blakely is coming through. Mills is going to try to get back up on the bike just as Blakely's coming over the top of the hill. Blakely's going to get the power down. That'll not quite cost him a spot, but he's definitely much closer. That's not going to help. Blakely off the track. Yep, not going to help whatsoever. So finally, 69 seconds down. Nice. Austin Eklund comes through in second. Magnetti followed him home in third, 4.3 seconds behind him. Coming down to the flag right now in fourth will be Braden Castellaneta. Fifth is going to go to Chase Blakely. Daniel Mills must have fallen there on that last lap. He dropped back to sixth. And Bobby DeSalle, last man on the lead lap in seventh, will get that spot no problem. Cohenauer was eighth, ninth Parks, 10th Gonzalez, 11th was Holmes, 12th Braden, 13th was Williams, 14th Heagney, 15th Hall, 16th McDaniel, 17th Rockefeller, 18th was Ian Holm, 19th for Caden Speck, and 20th was Austin Barron. We'll wait for cuts to come through and see whether or not anything changed. And oh man, who went down before the finish line jump? Come on, don't you know we're trying to get done with this race? Bam, there we go. Let's see if cuts changed anything. Nope, everything stayed the exact same. So Holm confirmed winner, moto number 1 at Loket. All right, time for a little bit of a break. 5-minute break, intermission in the racing action. If you guys have a question in chat, now would be a good time to ask it. I am here watching chat now, and I'm happy to answer any and all questions that are shot my way. So please do so. There's 92 of you people here. Make your voices heard. If you have something you would like me to talk about, I am here to talk about it. Munson says, did everyone bring a knife to Adam's gunfight? Well, I still really would have liked to see Leclerc in this class tonight because Leclerc was unstoppable last week in Indonesia and raced the MX2 class here tonight, so we didn't get a chance to see what he would have done, you know, against Adam Holm in that moto, but is what it is. Matt Parker says, what's the schedule for the races? Do you mean like what races are coming up next tonight, or what are the future rounds going to be of the series? Because tonight, the next race that's coming up in a couple minutes' time is MXGP race number 2. Yeah, we're going to get going with race 2 here in a couple minutes. Dylan Love wants me to race AMS again. If it wasn't on the weekend, I would, I think. The fact that it's on the weekends is like the worst for me because I need to spend time with my family sometime. Like seriously, doing these broadcasts 2 nights a week takes me away from my family so much already that it's just I'm already pretty worn out at this point to be doing these two nights a week this late into the year. But it is what it is. We're gonna get wrapped up pretty soon. So, yep. Jeremy Estrella wants to know what tracks do I usually ride at. Last time I went riding, I went to Lake Elsinore. Before that, I went to Kauai. I go to Paula, Glen Helen, rode at LACR recently. Been riding out in the high desert a couple times lately. I mean, any track in SoCal, really, I try to get to. I'm not picky. Well, I am picky because I hate flat, jumpy tracks, so I don't really love Paula or don't really love Elsinore. I don't really love Paris, but I'll go to him. I don't mind going to him. So, Brandon Hanaway wants to know, is this year's series of IRL Nationals going to leave a bad taste in your mouth? And what is your opinion of people saying this series won't mean as much with less rounds and 2 rounds repeating? I don't think it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because we're getting racing. Like, thank heaven we're getting any racing at all because some series are not able to continue. So the fact that we're getting racing out is awesome, and I'm really happy to see it. As for the less rounds, the double headers, how weird that is, yeah, I think because it's not going to be all 12 rounds, you'll look back on it eventually and be like, well, it wasn't the full 12 rounds. Like, I think people are going to do that. I don't think that way. I don't look at this as a championship with an asterisk or anything like that. Like, if Tomac loses this title, he lost this title. He had 9 rounds. He knew coming into it how many rounds there were. If he loses it, he loses it. So I don't think that you can say, oh, it's an asterisk just because it's 9 rounds. Like, that doesn't, to me, that doesn't work. But anyway, is what it is. Did Leclerc already secure the title, says O. Munson? No, he did not. He has an 81-point lead on Jack Haley, though, who did not finish this moto. And Adam Holm, I think, was 40 points back at Haley, so he's going to have an opportunity to move into second in the championship here in the second moto. But Leclerc kind of caught a break there because Haley's gaining no points on him right now. Dylan Hampton wants to know, what is your favorite MX vs. ATV game? My favorite MX vs. ATV game is MX vs. ATV Reflex. I'd love to hear yours as well. No Touchy to Hutchy wants to know, do you think we will get all 9 rounds of motocross? Yes, question mark. I'm like 60% sure we get 9 rounds in. Because I think that they have the idea that if things start really falling apart, they can run several rounds at one place. They have High Point on retainer to fill a spot if anything falls apart. Loretta's was just worked out that they could run 2 races there after Washugo got canceled. So it's like, it has the potential to not go great, but as of right now, I think they will get all 9 in. That could change like tomorrow, though. We'll see. Yep. No more questions? Anybody else? Questions? Anybody? Anybody at all? Of course, Brandon. I'm a man of the people. I like you people that come and watch these races. You are the real MVPs, in my opinion. And I feel bad that during the race I don't get a chance to interact with the chat as much. So because of that, I try when I can, when we get these little 5-minute breaks in the action, to, as much as possible, interact with the chat. I'm sorry that sometimes I don't always get to every question. It seems like this time I did, unfortunately. But yeah, you guys are awesome for showing up and watching these broadcasts week in and week out and showing your support. And honestly can't thank you guys enough. So answering some questions in chat is by far the least I could do. Dylan Hampton wants to know what was my favorite car game. I grew up playing a game. I didn't really grow up. I was already a teenager when this game came out, but no, I wasn't. I was about to be a teenager when this game came out. I played Project Gotham Racing 2 nonstop. I seriously, like, I probably put more hours into Project Gotham Racing than I did, like, MX versus ATV Untamed or Unleashed, which is ridiculous because I love those games too. But I played PGR2 so much and played a little bit of PGR3. I was kind of done with the series by PGR4, but like I played that game like competitively. Like I tried to get on leaderboards. I was all about it. So if I had to pick a favorite racing game, that would be it, because it was such a good game in my opinion. And thank you for the $2 donation, No Touchy to Hutchie. Says he loved the answer. Well, I mean, it's just the truth. I answer with my whole heart every time. So, but I appreciate the donation nonetheless. As I've mentioned a couple times, got a newborn in the house. She's going to be 8 weeks old in a couple days, and she goes through a lot of diapers. We have money for diapers. I'm not saying that we're struggling for money to get diapers, but it's nice that you guys donate because I consider it our diaper fund. We just get more money from you lovely people, and we get more diapers to go on my baby's butt. There you go. Real quickly, no, I don't play any FPS games. I used to play CSGO and a couple others like that, but I kind of got out of the FPS realm. I'm just not a big fan of the games, to be honest. No particular reason. I'm just really not good at them. So, anyway. All right, MXGP Race 2 at Loket, set to go. We are racing in Loket. Good jump out of home on the inside. Coming from the outside, though, Dylan Long has got a great start, and he's going to get to the corner first, but he does not get the whole shot. It's going to be Walter Gebhardt picking up the Racetech.com whole shot as he leads him around at the top of the hill. Caleb Hall is in second. Caden Speck right there in third. I don't know what happened to Holm, but he did not get that good start that it looked like he was about to get, and some people getting shuffled around down the hill. So it's Gebhardt leading through at the end of what is essentially lap number 1. I mean, it's about 3 corners of the track before they hit the finish line jump, but obviously we're already on lap 2, and Haley gets together with Williams and goes down. Oh, Jack Haley, who DNF'd the first moto, had a great start this time and falls immediately at the end of lap number 1. Leon Ty, Ethan Parks, Caleb Hall, then Adam Holm comes through. He's mixed in at about 12th, 13th right now or so. And everybody funneling down by the mechanics area. Oh, somebody just got landed on. Was that Austin Bear maybe that got landed on? No, it looks like he made it through. So somebody, maybe on a Husqvarna or something, absolutely got slaughtered in the mechanics area. Only 33 runners started this one as Lewis Williams just went down on the inside. So Adam Holm dropping down the hill. Oh, someone's going deep. Caleb Hall. Oh my gosh, he split the gap between that was Parks and Leon Ty. Very close together. Ty trying to get the drive. Adam Holm and Parks going around the outside of him. So Gebhardt leads from Holmes, who just hit a trampoline, and Brandon Holmes goes down at a second. That is going to give Dylan Long second. And then Heagney crashes out of third, so Haley goes to third. Holmes is going to get up. He'll be in fourth. Heagney's trying to get going just as a plethora of people get there. It's going to be Fowler going into 5th. Parks is now in 6th. Holm around the outside trying to go into 7th. Well, he's going to try to go into 5th down the right side of the track. He's going to make 2 passes in 1 perhaps. Absolutely he does. Down the inside of Ethan Parks and up to P5. Adam Holm goes. What a move for the defending world champion. So he is now up into P5 as mentioned. Parks drops back to 6th. Blakely, good start in this one. He's 7th. Leon Ty right there in 8th. Speck is 9th. Fowler being passed by Kohenauer. We got Parks down. We got, is that Blakely down at the bottom of the hill? It is Blakely. Oh man, so many guys going through as well. And then Parks gets a tap of the front wheel there as Caleb Hall was getting out of shape going up the hill. And it puts Parks in a weird spot. Oh, Blakely lands on Caleb Hall off the step off. And there comes Logan Higney, Ethan Parks, Luke Magnetti. There's Cale Braden on the 233. Someone also going down in the background there. That was JT George doing a bit of pirouetting. He's off the bike. And it's all kicking off here early. Nobody can stay on 2 wheels, it seems. Austin Eklund, who was 2nd in the first moto, is way back here, and he's down again. He is going to get up in 25th. He's stuck behind Aaron Rockefeller trying to get going. Rockefeller is going to push him wide, and Austin Eklund drops all the way back to 28th now. 29th even. Lewis Williams goes down the inside. So 2nd in the first moto, having a bit of a tough time getting going here in the second one is Austin Eklund. Try to peek inside here and try to use this inside line. Just can't quite get that drive up the hill. Almost worked out, and then dualies at the top there as Zach Fisher on the 317 threw it down with Lewis Williams. Then I think that was Aaron Rockefeller and Ricky Hardman going down together as Austin Eklund's just trying to avoid all this chaos. Got more stuff going on that we got to pay attention to, though. Gebhardt leads. Haley is 2nd. Long is up to 3rd. Adam Holm is in 4th. Holm's 5th. Speck is in 6th. Mills 7th. Kohenauer is in 8th. And then there's a freight train of people coming behind him here. Oh my goodness. Castellaneta is completely out of shape coming down the hill, but he gathers it up to make the pass on Fowler. Then here comes Luke Magnetti leading Ian Holm, Kevin Gonzalez, Austin Bear, Logan Higney, Leon Ty, Caleb Hall, Ethan Parks, and Cale Braden in an absolute train of riders. Down by the mechanics area they come now. Look at this train of riders. This is insane. These guys are all so close together. Oh, crash. That's going to be Blakely going down. Do these guys see him? They just hop over top of him. And then Braden gets pushed out. He almost gets in a tie. Leon Ty comes back across the track and takes out Ethan Parks. And they're still battling for positions up here. 93 on 93 crime. Higney gets to the inside of Ian Holm. I don't know which one is the real number 93. Well, Ian Holm is listed as 38 on his pit board, so he must be running the wrong skins then. And now Caleb Hall splits the 2. Over the tabletop, down the back side here. Holm, Leon Ty. Oh, Ty, a little mistake. Braden splits the difference. Trying to go through these guys. Now he has to tuck to the second rut, loses a little bit of time. We also got Jack Fowler in the mix suddenly on the 86. This is great action, though. Doesn't have to be a battle for the lead, people. It can be good action anywhere you look. Oh, just getting absolutely clashed to the ground. Jack Fowler, as Bobby DeSalle was choo-choo training his way through. So DeSalle finds his way around some of these guys. Now he's going to try to close up on Ian Holm. This might be his opportunity. Let's see if he jumps down the hill. Yeah, he doubles down the hill. Doesn't get as close as I thought he would, though, but this inside move is going to work wonders for the 341 machine. And then tries to step up the hill. Ian Holm fighting back to the outside and gets put off the track a little bit there. Quentin McDaniel was trying to take advantage of it, but couldn't quite get there. Leon Ty, Blakely, Braden, Fowler, Parks coming down the hill behind them. And this freight train absolutely is still going. I mean, this is Really close action. Jack Fowler getting a little wayward on the ruts there. Ethan Parks trying to take advantage of it. Parks looks inside. Gonna get Caleb Hall too. Gets that. Oh, actually, he just hit somebody. Bobby DeSell was down. Oh, and then Parks trying to get off of him, falls off the bike. Unfortunate circumstances there. These guys are still just all over each other right now. I mean, this is outside of the top 10, and this battling is ridiculous. Who is inside of the top 10? What's going on here? Gebhardt, Haley just went down off the track, so Adam Holmes going to move up to second. Brandon Holmes is fourth. Dylan Long battling it out in P5 right now. He's on T-Lang Racing this week. And next week he'll be on Colby Eklund Racing probably. Oh, comes across the nose of Daniel Mills there. Got to be careful there. Mills trying to get up onto the rear tire of Dylan Long if he can. So it's still Gebhardt, Holm, Haley, Holmes, Long, Mills inside the top 6. Kohenauer is 7th, Speck right behind him in 8th, Magnetti right behind him in 9th. Castaneda is P10. 11th for Gonzalez. Heagney is 12th, McDaniel 13th, 14th for Holm, 15th Blakely, 16th is Cale Braden, 17th for DeSell, 18th Leon Tye, 19th for Ethan Parks, and 20th is Jack Fowler, 21st for Fisher, 22nd Eklund, and 23rd for Caleb Hall. Austin Bear coming down in 24th, 25th for JT George, Rockefeller in 26th, Julian Bomer in 27th, Cole just got put a lap down in 28th, and TJ Harrison is in 29th. Ricky Hartman is P30. Tanner Rogers on a 350 in 31st. And Lewis Williams and Neil Wells have called it a moto early. As we're coming up on the 10-minute mark here of MXGP Race 2. Like this battle, though. Stick with this one for a minute as Mills trying to go to the outside of Long and then carry speed up the hill to try to get this step up cleanly. Just did not quite hit the line right, though. Mills trying all kinds of different lines, though. Definitely not following Dylan Long. Wonder if that's Aussie lag coming into play a little bit there. Dylan Long, the rider out of Australia. Oh, man, getting a little sideways down the hill. Short on the table. Mills trying to find a way through, but Dylan Long riding fabulously. And I see Bailey Crawford in chat asking if that's the real Dylan Long. Yep. That is Aussie legend Dylan Long holding down P5 in a virtual race. And doing a really good job right now at keeping Daniel Mills at bay. Because it seemed like Mills had the speed, just couldn't quite make the pass, and now Long has actually stretched it back out on the 44 machine. Oh, who's down? That was lapped rider perhaps. Fisher, maybe? Either way, Dylan Long had to avoid him, so Mills closed right back up suddenly. Same lines here, outside. Are they both going to double down the hill? They do. Mills carrying, look at all that speed to the bottom of the hill. And Long to the inside holds it, but Mills, if he can get this step up clean, he just can't get down the backside of it. Oh, Long literally jumped too long and falls off the bike. So he's going to drop back. He is now in 6th, and he will get going just as Jeremy Kohenauer is getting to him from 7th. Good stuff there from Kohenauer. Now to close up on Long, he has got the 117 in his line of sight. Trying to make a pass here as well. Big whip for Long there. Inside move, Kohenauer. Oh, made the pass, but then slid out and long round the outside. Got it, and then Kohenauer slides back underneath to make that pass stick as he moves up into 6th, long back to 7th. Castellaneta is still 8th, 9th for Gonzalez, and rounding out your top 10 is Caden Speck at the moment. Luke Magnetti, P11. Bobby DeSalle is in 12th. 13th for Cale Braden, 14th for Logan Heagney, and 15th for Chase Blakely, who is not having a good day, I think. Not what he was hoping for. Speak back up front, though, because things are starting to get a little bit nice and tidy here. 38 dead for Holm, 39.9 for Gebhardt, so Holm almost gained 2 whole seconds that last lap. And they're starting to weave through some lap traffic. So 2.4 seconds is the gap. Holm is closing, no question about it, on Gebhardt for the lead. And Gebhardt did not have a first moto he would like to remember, so he's not even in consideration for the overall win here. Holm is, without question, going to win the overall as it stands. The only real question that remains is, can he go 1-1? I think in his mind, he absolutely believes he can, and absolutely believes he will. Because he is just taking chunks of time away from Gebhardt at will. And curious to see if this lap time is any better. It seems like it was another good one. 38.5 to a 44 dead. Just took a ton more time out, and Gebhardt's off the track. He rejoins, but Holm jumping down the hill right behind him is suddenly right on the number 5 machine for the race lead. Look at how far they launch up the hill. Didn't work out for Dylan Long to do that, but it seems like it's okay for these guys. Holm trying a different line here, outside. Kind of turns back into the inside here, but it's not going to matter. Well, it might actually. Gebhardt blew the inside rut. Holm pulls up alongside and makes the pass around the inside to the outside option. Adam Holm takes over the lead again in Loket. Just in time for the halfway point of the race, too. I know it looks like they're teammates, but Holm on that atom.com number 1 and Gebhardt on the Panini Motorsports number 5 are not teammates. Gebhardt looking inside again. Backs out of the challenge. Oh, wow, what a move by Gebhardt to get back to the inside and make that pass for the lead. Where did that move come from? Adam Holm, I don't think even expected a pass to happen right there, but Gebhardt just held on the throttle a little bit longer. These two having a great battle right now. Who is going to be the first to make that big mistake, though? Holm trying to pull up alongside. Just right up the tailpipe of Gebhardt. Tucks inside. Almost contact. Oh, Holm down. He got into Gebhardt's rear wheel there. Must have got a little tiny bit of front end lock, and that pitched him off the side of the track. He will not lose second, though. He's going to get going before Haley gets there, but he is now 10 seconds off of Gebhardt for the lead. And that gives us an opportunity to go back and see what else is going on. Castellaneta is going to close up on Kohenauer, who just got going from a crash. Dylan Long still back here battling it out with Kevin Gonzalez. This is for P8. Luke Magnetti and teammate Chase Blakely coming through. 10th and 11th. Speck 12th. I know it probably looks like it's broken that he's got this all black gear on and like we don't have the skins or whatever, but you actually go closer to him. You can just very faintly make out that number 19 on his back. So it's actually all black gear with like dark gray lettering. I think it's a set of Fast House gear. I think it's supposed to have like kind of a shiny sheen to everything. But Not broken skins. I actually have those skins. So Chase Blakely just went down. Cale Braden's trying to go around the outside of him, but not quite going to get that pass just yet. So Blakely dealing with some pressure here from Cale Braden. Trying to keep tabs on his teammate ahead of him is Blakely, though, because he's got Luke Magnetti right in front of him. These guys are all pretty separated, though. It doesn't seem like much close action going on. Oh, battle for the lead going again. Holm is caught back up to Gebhardt, so something happened. Oh my gosh, how did they not get together? I think something happened, though. Maybe a crash for Gebhardt out front. Battle on once again. Nothing in it between our two leaders, and they had a terrific fight the first time we were watching them, so have to imagine we're going to get round 2 ding, ding, ding going right now. Oh, Holm's getting such a good drive up the hill and then wheelied, so he kept the front wheel light. Front end. Oh, Adam Holm blew the rut just slightly, and then the front end just knifed in and came to a dead stop, and he was fortunate not to go over the bars in slow motion and have a fall off. Those are the worst crashes ever. You just want to literally throw your controller into Neptune. So 19:20 on the clock right now, which means just over 10 minutes. Oh, man, Gebhardt went down with the lead. Haley's going to go on by. As I was saying, though, just over 10 minutes and a couple laps remain, and suddenly this race has been flipped upside down. Adam Holm has taken over the race lead from Jack Haley. Walter Gebhardt, pretty mad at himself, I'd have to imagine, for coughing up that lead. So he's trying to go right after Haley again, waste no time. So these guys are still pretty dang close together, but it's kind of settled down a little bit. Haley and Gebhardt not too far off of Holm. In fact, I'd love to see some lap times out of these guys as Gebhardt goes down. 2.5 seconds is the gap, though, Haley to Holm. So can Haley, who did not finish the first moto and lost a big chunk of points, at the very least, claw this one away from Holm to hold on to second in the championship standings? Either way, both of them are pretty likely to be over 50 points down after this one still. In fact, I don't think it's pretty likely. I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed they'll be over 50 points down after this one, which means if Leclerc just shows up and races next week and gets, let's just say a 2-2, a 3-4, whatever, probably enough to clinch the world title a round early. But Leclerc's got some interesting tactics. He might just race 250s for the rest of the season and still clinch the world title. Haley has caught Holm so fast, though. That gap came down pretty much instantaneously while we're just briefly chatting about championship scenarios there. Putting the heat on the number one. As mentioned, doesn't matter for the overall. Holm has got this thing pretty locked up. with both Gebhardt and Haley behind him. I believe both of them didn't score points in the first moto. Haley definitely did not. Called it an early moto back about an hour ago. Oh, Holm off the track. Haley does not elect to go for the pass, though. Backs out of the challenge there. Oh, Haley, a great drive. Holm didn't quite get exactly what he wanted, but it actually turned out pretty good because he could double his way to the inside of the corner there and hold the spot. This is terrific action for these two. Haley's trying to size something up, and he's almost alongside of him. Coming down to crunch time in this moto. Latter third of the race. Gosh, them floating so deep up the top of that hill and then landing to flat on that rear tire nerves me out every time. I feel like you're going to see a fall-off crash like we saw out of Dylan Long at any moment. Now with these two out front, as long as they don't fall and the pace they start pushing, I have to imagine they're going to start lapping their way through quite a few people. Does Haley have something picked out, a spot he likes, where he can make this pass happen? Oh, that's not going to help. Front end over the outside edge of the berm, and down goes the number 6. Gets going as Eklund gets there, but Eklund is a lap down from these guys. And we've lost Gebhardt. Daniel Mills is up to 3rd. Castaneda is in 4th. Wait, did we lose Gebhardt? Yeah, what happened to Walter Gebhardt? Don't tell me. Yep, Walter Gebhardt called it a moto. I don't know how long ago he did, but he's in 24th now. On lap 13 he called it. And the leaders are on lap 15. So 2 laps ago, Walter Gebhardt was done. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Daniel Mills has moved up to 3rd, though, in the process. Castaneda is pretty far back of him, but he's in 4th. Brandon Holmes is now 5th. Luke Magnetti has slowly crawled his way up into 6th. And he's brought Kevin Gonzalez with him the entire way. Both of them trying to fight up inside of the top 5. They got Brandon Holmes to get around to do so. Rider down. That was Holmes. Brandon Holmes was down. Magnetti up to 5th, and Gonzalez now up into 6th. They are 10 seconds back of P4 right now in Castaneda, so they're going to need a little bit of luck getting there. But for both of them, good on them nonetheless. Big shout out to Alex Efforts. Thanks for the streams. I look forward to these every week. He donated $5 in chat. And always appreciate the love from the Studio 8 man himself, Alex Efforts. Oh, Holmes. These guys, when they drop down that step down, I understand that sometimes they have it planned out accordingly, but it seems like when they're going through the front door a little bit, or maybe they're not going to clear that step down, that it could go awry very quickly. Not the case here, though. Actually, I know that Alex is here. I had a quick question for you, Alex, since you are here. I know that you probably saw the new snapshot that JLV put out, and I don't know how associated to this you would be, but is there any plan in place for 3D 30-second person and a some 3D flaggers in the future for Race Factory? Just curious if you could provide an answer for that. Sure, people might want to know. Chase Blakely, this has been an entire moto of trying to fight back up into some good points bank positions. Was well down the order at one point, I think even outside of the points at one point. There you go. Alex Efforts confirms in chat they are looking into doing some 3D models for the flaggers and the 32nd person. I say that because I feel like you guys are probably going to do a 32nd girl, but I don't know that for sure. So I won't know that, won't speculate. This battle continues between Holmes and Blakely though. Oh, Holmes down, Blakely. Wow, Blakely was kind of lucky right there. He was about to get spit out of some weird collisions and get tossed down like a wet salad. But fortunately for him, he did not, and he continues on his merry way. Jeremy Cohenauer was down at the bottom of the hill, but Bobby DeSalle came cartwheeling in behind him, so no change there. Ethan Parks is going to gain a spot, and Ethan Parks, similar to Blakely, has been clawing his way from outside of the points this entire race. Now finds himself 12th. Oh, little sideways for the 96. And eventually getting passed back by DeSalle, who I'm much happier to see competing the entire moto distance this week, as opposed to disconnecting from second twice last week. Caleb Brayton coming flying down the hill. Caleb Hall pretty much right behind him. Let's see. Adam Holm has lapped up to 9th. Cohenauer has gone a lap down. Doesn't look like he'll probably get to 8th in Holmes. In fact, let's see, going up to Adam Holm now, he is going to check in out front again before time expires again. So he's going to have 3 laps to go next time by. So 3 to go for Holm. Out front, 23-second lead on Haley. So Haley going to pick up 22 points in this moto to the 0 that he had in the first moto. Better than nothing, but not the day he was hoping for when Alexis Leclerc, for some reason, elected to race the 250 class tonight. And Haley had an opportunity, had he gone 1-1, to cut the lead from 81 points down to 31 points with 2 rounds left to go. But at this point, it is still going to be over 1 full Grand Prix distance away for him, over 50 points between himself and Leclerc. With the 22 points he's going to pick up right now, he'll only be 59 points down instead, but definitely not what he was hoping for today. Teammates 2-3 right now though. Cassianetta still in 4th, and Magnetti. Impressive stuff from the kid on the 107. Has been getting better all season long, and like his teammate Blakely, has had to come forward much of this race. Just doing a fabulous job, and still has a shot at finishing 4th in this one, which I think would be a GP podium for him, as he was 3rd in the first moto, I believe. Might actually be 2nd overall now that I think about it, with Eklund so far back, and guys like Jack Haley, who scored no points in the first moto, getting into the mix. Oh man, landed on a hay bale. Got a big kick right there, but a nice save. Well, still not over. There it is, finally saved it. Time is now expired, so Holm out front will have probably just checked in this time by to get the 2-lap board. Yeah, actually already has gone through to get the 2-lap board, so 2 to go right now for our race leader. His teammate Kevin Gonzalez back here has moved up to 6th. Gonzalez just trying to manage the pace at this point, I think. He's got Chase Blakely trying to close up from behind. 1.6 seconds down, so Blakely still has an opportunity. Gain a couple more positions here. Oh man, that bump coming into that corner has just gotten bigger and bigger as the moto goes on. Blakely all kinds of sideways right there. And P8, Brandon Holmes, is a lap down. Adam Holm has lapped Brandon Holmes. Fairly unlikely he gets to this duo up here. But still to lap that high up, even despite having to come through and only taking the race lead away from Haley at the halfway point of this moto. Impressive stuff from Holm. And like I said, just kind of bummed we didn't get to see how it fared against Leclerc tonight. Leclerc looked pretty good in the Mx2 races earlier if you missed him. First race ever for Leclerc on a 250 in Race Factor Gaming competition. He had never, ever raced a 250 in this class before. Now he officially has. And Kevin Gonzalez just moved up to 5th on the tail end of Luke Magnetti going down. So Gonzalez and Blakely still fighting amongst each other. Have now got around Luke Magnetti and are trying to fight for the final top 5 position here. So this one is definitely coming down to the wire as well. And Magnetti is suddenly not in an opportune position to land 2nd overall on the day. It's going to be even more split up at this point. I have no idea what the overalls are outside of Holm going 1-1. This is way up in the air. Blakely just trying to get around Gonzalez. He's been tailing him for so long. Inside move to the outside. Turns into the inside of the top of the hill. He controls it. Gonzalez will go to the main line, though, and try to power out. Contact, and Blakely goes down. He just drifted out to Gonzalez's line, and Gonzalez did not let off, as you would not expect him to in that situation. So Magnetti goes back by into 6th. Gonzalez holds 5th, and Blakely gets going in 7th. Brandon Holmes in 8th. Kohenauer 9th. And Dylan Long currently rounding out our top 10. Gonzalez, was he just off the side of the track just then? I think he was. Did he drop back to 6th? Yeah, Magnetti went through. Magnetti back up to 5th. But out front, Adam Holm is about to stamp his first Grand Prix victory of 2020, his first Grand Prix victory in his title defense, which is, unfortunately for him, probably going to end in a failed title defense. But I think he'll take the Grand Prix win and be happy with it when all is said and done. Either way, Grand Prix of Czechia, winner, Adam Holm. 1-1 performance, dominating day. You take Leclerc out of the equation, still doesn't matter. That's a pretty dang good ride out of Adam Holm. Jack Haley from DNF in Moto 1 to 2nd in Moto 2. Daniel Mills, just a good day all around for him. He's going to get 3rd in this one. Braden Castellaneta, solid rides as well in the Nova GFX 221. Going to pick up 4th here. Luke Magnetti is up to 5th as we saw around Gonzalez, so that should be good enough for 2nd overall, I believe. Uh-oh, who's down? Oh, it's a lapper. Gonzalez back in 6th. Blakely is in 7th. He just went down. And Brandon Holmes is not going to get to him, and Holmes and Kohenauer, Holm let them unlap themselves. But Dylan Long was the first man a lap down. He finished up 10th. 11th was Ethan Parks. 12th for Caden Speck. 13th for Caleb Hall. 14th for Austin Eklund. 15th Bobby DeSalle. 16th was Cale Braden. 17th still on track right now, but pretty much locked up in this spot is going to be Logan Heagney. 18th, yeah, he's locked up for sure. 18th was Ian Holm. 19th, Quentin McDaniel. Almost got killed by Kevin Gonzalez. And 20th was Aaron Rockefeller. 5 seconds back. Zach Fisher ended up 21st in this one. So we're just waiting for a couple guys still to cross the line. Looks like Brandon Holmes, Jeremy Kohenauer, Logan Heagney, and Ricky Hardman still need to cross the line. Hardman in 24th. So further back of 20th, it was Fisher, as we mentioned. Leon Ty ends up 22nd. 23rd for TJ Harrison. Ricky Hardman's going to come across in 24th. Julian Bomer did not finish this moto. Neither did Walter Gebhardt. JT George, Cole, Tanner Rogers, Austin Bear, Jack Fowler, Lewis Williams, or Neil Wells did not end up finishing this race. So So we'll wait for Ricky Hardman, look at cuts, and send you guys on your way here tonight. Early night with no consolation races. We're going to be done here before 8:45 Pacific or 11:45 Eastern. Oh, Ricky Hardman underflips to the finish line and crashes. Would have been cool if he landed it. Still kind of cool, I guess. There we go. Ricky Hardman down to the checkered flag. Ends up 24th, and cuts are in. Any changes? Yeah, Cale Braden goes to 15th around Bobby DeSalle. That was it. Adam Holm, 1-1 winner, MXSGP of Loket. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the broadcast. As always, big shout out to Ride365.com, Race Factory Gaming, Moto Option Clothing, Race Tech Suspension, Underground RC, MXS Lobby, Tagger Designs, and everybody that helps out with this series. Studio 8 as well, of course. Alex Effort's in here giving some donations tonight. Always great to have you around. And all of you guys that watch this broadcast, from all of us here at Start Your Systems, we want to thank you for tuning in to round 10 of the MXS Grand Prix World Championship from Loket in Czechia. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday night for the return of round 9 of the Ride365.com Nationals. We'll see you guys then. So long for now.